is a nice copper coin, but oh, Doug, do you know what time it is?
45 up.
Who says 45 of, Doug? It's quarter after. What's up, guys? QuarterHoarder here, and welcome to the year-end spectacular, where we're going to be going over a whole year's worth of finds. Man, there were some doozies. It was hard narrowing it down to only 12, and it's totally arbitrary. You might have had a different 12 than I came up with, but it was a lot of fun, and I put together a slideshow of, holy cow, there was like 800 photos that I'm not going to be able to talk about, but I'll play it off to the side. They're just going to, flow through some of the incredible things that the group found over the year once we get through the top 12. Let me do a couple of quick hellos before I bring everybody in. I see digging up the Carolinas. Scott Cash is here, our good friend from Missouri. Digger 1798. Michael Sacamando. Donald Minot. Hope I got it right. Billy Thompson. Bobby Allender. Marty Vistral's digging with Marty. Dave Lee. Clem Fandango is here. Ronnie Crane. Escudo Hunter Bruce. Oh, man, wouldn't love finding one of those. Wow. Gigmaster is here. Gigmaster will be our special guest next week on the show. So I usually announce it later, but make sure you guys tune in next week for Gigmaster. Should be a lot of fun. Buckle Boy Metal Detecting. Hey, how are you, sir? Buckle Boy, awesome dude. I heard he's writing a book. I would love to get my hands on it if that's done or in the process. Captain Spaulding is here. Jen Galloway, Tracy Branham, Digger 1798. I may have gotten already. I'm not sure. But everybody, thank you. I did also see Hot Mess Fishing. Let me scroll back up. Yeah, Hot Mess Fishing is here. Alicia, one of my moderators. Thank you, Alicia. If you're not familiar with her, go check out her YouTube channel, Hot Mess Fishing. And of course, Teresa, the treasure hunter, is here. Same thing. Go check her out. She's all over the TikTok and all that stuff. Teresa, the treasure hunter. Thank you both for moderating. Bethesda Ministries, DBA Chaplains for Change. Thank you very much. I think I got the name right this week. Last week, I messed it all up. And talking about last week, before I bring everybody in, you may have, if you were watching last week, you may have saw that the stream just kind of stopped. The guest, Tom, held up an antique item that was his grandfather's. Apparently, there's a new YouTube policy as of like October. You're not allowed to show them during a live stream, hold them, touch them, do anything. And if your stream has over 100 people, they monitor it constantly with bots. And as soon as they see that item, floom, stream is over. So YouTube contacted me the next day. So now I know. So going forward, you will not be seeing any of them on the QuarterHoarder live show. But someone who has a lot of them, and luckily will not be showing them today, let's bring in Mr. Charlie, the Heritage Relic Hunter. How are you, Charlie?
A lot better, Jason. Thank you.
Yeah, Charlie's been sick for like 10 days. I was worried you'd be sick again today. I'm glad you're feeling better. You're looking good.
Well, thank you so much. It was not real good, but it's going around. But I'm fine today, and I'm ready to see the show tonight. And I was really glad. I did see the YouTube Tuesday. I'm glad I made the top 12.
I think you were like 6 of the top 12, Charlie.
I don't know, but it was great. I really enjoyed the whole year.
Listen, if we lived in an Asian country, it would be the year of the Charlie, because
well, thank you.
It could have been a top 12 of just your finds. I was trying to get everyone else in there a little bit.
The right place at the right time. That's what it was all about.
No, you did. You had an extraordinary year.
Yeah.
And who also had an extraordinary year was Mr. Rich Van Winkle, who also had several entries on the list.
Hey,
welcome,
everybody.
Rich. How are you?
Hi, Rich.
Good. How are you? Hey,
We're
Charlie.
good.
I'm glad you're feeling better.
Yes. Thank you so much.
Yeah, he's looking good. And he wants to give a shout out, but I don't want your mom to wait in the background too long. So let's bring her in, the one and only Lindiana Jones.
Hey.
Now, Lynn didn't make the top 12 last year because she didn't start detecting until almost December. But I will say, and we mentioned it last week, Charlie, she already has a find in January that I can guarantee will be in next year's best of, because man, super mega bucket lister from Lynn, who's like an infant with the detector.
Yeah.
He
Surprise,
still wears a
surprise.
diaper.
It's something we dream about.
Yeah, it was fantastic. And Charlie, you wanted to give a shout out. I'll give you the floor if you want to give your shout out.
Yeah, fellow by the name of George Potts. He belongs to a club, the Southern New England Relic Hunters. That's the logo that they have. And I mentioned him. I really like the logo because it's similar to the one I have for myself. So what George Potts did and his club, they sent me this shirt that I'm wearing tonight. Right here.
Yeah, that was very nice of them. The logo does look a little bit like yours. I could see the resemblance. You both have like that Hessian soldier.
Colonial soldiers, yes.
Well,
So
it was really nice
thank
of
you,
him.
George. And
it was nice of him to send you the shirt and the stickers and all that. And hey, if we get back up to New England later this year, which it looks like we're going to, maybe we can meet up with him, say hello.
Right. There you go. That'd be fun.
I do see a lot of people in there asking about Tom Ask Jem. Yeah, I spoke with him. He will be coming on again to continue the interview, probably in like 3 weeks, 4 weeks, something like that. And I was able to download the first part of the interview. So I will cut off where he showed the item that apparently is terrible, Charlie. And I'll edit them together and I will post the full interview as a regular video.
Right.
Because I kind of feel bad that it got cut off. It was just starting to get juicy too. He was telling us about some of his, trials and tribulations with his old partner, and really nice guy, interesting dude, and has one heck of a good bottle digging channel. So we will square that up in a few weeks and finish the interview with Tom. That's Dig Beeps is here, Charlie. I can't reach it. I just got a new color of the lanyards from Vets Digs Beeps.
Oh.
I'll be handing them out this weekend to everybody. It'll be Lynn's first lanyard because Lynn's new to the game.
Wow.
And if you guys need a lanyard to tie off your pinpointer or shovel, anything, you don't want to lose it, make sure you check them out. VetsDigBeeps.com. Thank you.
Thank you.
So the format of the show tonight, Charlie. Oh, and by the way, Doug, obviously you can see he couldn't make it today. So it's just us. And Jessica may be able to jump on later. We'll see. Yeah, Buckle Boy, YouTube reached out to me, luckily, because I didn't know what happened. Apparently, if you make YouTube videos, you're allowed to show those items in the videos. It's only if you're live. You're not allowed to hold it, touch it, do anything like that. And their reasoning was, if God forbid you're a crazy person and do something with it, it would happen so fast and then people would see it. So as soon as their AI sees that item, instantly live stream goes down. And they didn't give me a channel strike, but they said usually they will give a channel strike, which is that's like a red card if you play soccer, Charlie. You don't want to get a red card.
No.
So anyone out there who also live streams know that is a new YouTube policy as of October. You could look it up. I'm not making it up.
Right.
And they will shut your stream down.
Right.
Even though Tom's was a 200-year-old non-functioning antique, doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter. Right.
So, and for Steve, Gigmaster's coming on last week. I'll talk to him later. Some of the cool things he's found fall into that category. So although we'll still talk about it, I'm not going to ask him to hold it up, anything like that.
Right.
So better safe than sorry. Yeah, Dangus, you're allowed to say it. I'm just not saying it. I'm not saying it because what a mess. What a mess that was. So, but Charlie, why don't we kick off the show with what I like to say is the top 12 greatest finds from the whole crew in 2024. You said you saw the video, Charlie. It's hard to try to go through the thousands and thousands of things we found and come up with a top 10 or 12. I really struggled. Is there anything that you maybe would have substituted in or out from your personal top 12 of our group's finds?
Well, I found a lot of people find reales and stuff. I found that one reale down New Jersey that I was finding tin cans along the road, and Doug told me to go along the road. Maybe I'd still be lucky. I kept finding cans, and I found that beautiful mint condition reale down
Well,
there.
to be fair, Charlie,
Yes.
you found that 2 years ago, and it was in
Oh,
last
was it?
year's best of.
Oh, shoot.
It
I'm
was
a
in the
senior
top 10
citizen.
of last year, Charlie.
Senior
you found-
citizen moment.
Yeah,
Right
this isn't
before
a
that, you found 2 coppers.
Yeah. Charlie,
Yeah,
this
yeah,
wasn't a lifetime achievement award, Charlie. It was just this year.
Oh, gosh. Well, I can't think of any right offhand. We got the Liberty Cabs. We got the, all the Drake bus. I'm trying to think of a relic that I got that would really maybe, make it. I can't think of any relics that would be a super relic that
When
would
I bring
be
the slideshow up, you'll see. I
Yeah.
mean, you had some real winners.
Okay.
You
Honestly,
found a
every
ring
one of
every
us.
other week.
Yeah,
Yeah.
every one of us could have had their own top 12. I mean, when you go
Yeah.
every single week to Colonial Properties all year round, I mean, you can't help but find all this good stuff. And it's not like we have some elite detecting power. It's
Right.
just a numbers game. When you go out as often as we do, you're going to find stuff. You're going to
Right.
find stuff.
Yeah,
Digging Canuck, the treasure hunter, made it. And I also saw Rachel, Jersey Ray Diggs, another moderator. Thank you, Rachel. Oh, and Prairie Pirate. I'd like to do a round of another shout outs before I start it because a lot of people jumped in. So if I didn't get you earlier, NEPA History and Archaeology Search, thank you. Digstock in March. I don't think any of us are going. Charlie, are you going to Digstock in March?
No, I am not. No.
Yeah, I don't think any of us are going to this one. We're not able to make it, so I apologize.
If they would be back in New York, I highly consider it. I really enjoy.
I would walk.
Cagey, New York.
Yeah, if it was in New York, I'd start walking tomorrow.
Yeah.
Not that I don't like North Carolina,
Right.
but in March, that's prime farm field season up here for us, and to leave, that's tough. That's tough. Crazy Digging is here. Danimal Digs, Connor's Relics and Treasures. Let me see. Detect Dig Smile is here. Lucky Duck Diggers, Digging Canuck I got. Zach G, Tom Kingery, Ronnie Crane, everybody. There's no guest tonight. We're going to be recapping, so we'll all be watching the chat all night long. If we didn't get your name now, we will get it later, I'm sure. 5 Mile Relic Hunter, of course, got to give him a shout out. But let's start it, Charlie. This was it was supposed to be a top 10. I bumped it to top 12. Like I said, it could have been a top 25. I thought it was a fantastic year. And to start it off in the number 12 spot, I gave to Rich Van Winkle. And even though this isn't necessarily something that's monetarily valuable, it never really is for my top 12. It's more of unique, never seen before, that kind of stuff.
Right.
If I ever find another one of these, I'll be extremely surprised.
Yeah, so there's Rich. I'll bring it up full screen for a second, but this was Rich's. This made the number 12. This was a St. Helena Island large cent from 1821.
Yeah.
St. Helena is the island that Napoleon was banished to after he was finally defeated. So the population of that island started to grow because he was a big famous figure. They made these coins. He died the same year this coin was made, and then next year their coin went way down again. But the fact that this coin made it from this little island in the middle of nowhere over to America in the backyard of this house we were going through, I thought was fascinating, and I gave that spot to Rich Van Winkle at number 12. What do you think, Rich?
It's still awesome. I'm really curious as to how it got here. I mean, my guess would be somebody went on vacation to that island, but you just never know.
Why do I keep doing this, Rich? Why can't I? There we go. Yeah, it's not exactly like at the top of everyone's island destination list,
Back
that
then,
the
it
same?
might have been. It could have been back then. 1900, 1850, who knows?
Is that the same? Is that where Mount St. Helens is? St. Helena Island? Or are they two different places?
No, I think St. Helens is in Washington, isn't it?
Washington
Yeah.
State.
Yeah.
Oh, all right. Shows how much I know, guys.
Well, Jason, did you know that before he found that coin about Napoleon being on that island? I mean, historically, did you know that?
No. Like most things I know, Charlie, it's after we find something, I go down the rabbit hole.
Okay.
I had no idea.
I knew he was sent away.
Right.
I didn't know where. I didn't know when. I didn't, know anything.
Well,
Well,
that's
I
where
wonder
he was
if that's off the coast of France then, that island.
It's in the Atlantic Ocean, I believe. I don't have a picture of the map,
Right.
so you guys can all look it up at your leisure.
We'll search it out.
Yeah, you guys can search it out. But that was number 12, only for total uniqueness.
Definitely.
So congratulations to Rich's first entry.
A copper from a small island.
Yeah, and Napoleon lived there when this coin was made. It may have passed through his fingers before it left. Who knows?
I heard he was holding that very coin.
That's the exact one. It could have been.
Yeah.
In fact, when you found it, I thought I saw a fingernail still attached to it, and you knocked it back into the hole.
Wow.
All right. Well, there you go. St. Helena, number 12 for Rich Van Winkle. Then number 11, which was one of my favorite that I've ever seen as far as buttons go. Perhaps only my GW from 2 years ago may have beaten it out. But this was Charlie's incredible, I'm going to make it full screen, incredible fireman button. Now, this button is the size of a $50, and the two nice, clean gold ones are other examples I found. And when I say other examples, I only found one other example on the entire interweb, and that's why I just put 2 copies of it there. Incredibly rare, probably from about 1840 or so. And there was a little bit of controversy, Rich, where I assumed, well, I didn't mean to do that. I assumed that it was a firefighter running to put out a fire, yelling fire,
right,
in that bubble letter. But some people thought that maybe it was like a worker who would walk down the city streets with like a ladle with embers in it. And if you needed a fire started in your house, he would come in and drop some embers in. Now, it could be that, but I think logically, even back in 1840, you don't walk down the street yelling fire. Like, that's just not something you would do.
right.
So that, in my opinion, it's to put out fires, not to give fire. What do you think of that, Lynn?
Well, I have heard that there were people that that could take embers to your house, but I don't feel that this has anything to do with that. I think it does have something to do with firemen.
Charlie, do you agree with Lynn's assessment?
Well, I'm thinking when I watch Christmas Carol, that movie Christmas Carol, I always think of people in London. They would have to start up their coal, and I'm thinking this guy was a guy who walked down the streets to actually sell the embers,
So you think it was an ember salesman?
Yes, I do.
Okay, I mean, you might be right. I don't know. That's why I said there's been some controversy over it.
He's just dressed like one of those guys that you would see walking down the streets of London, and the top hat, and with that megaphone thing he got. So I don't know.
The thing that it gave me some credence to that salesman is the thing in his left hand does look like it's a little basket of burning embers.
Right.
And if you were putting out a fire, that wouldn't make sense. So it could go either way. I'll ask the audience, what do you guys think? Is that a firefighter or a fire giver?
Seller. He's selling fire.
I have a crazy funny story about that button too.
Go ahead, give your crazy story why I take the poll. I'll bring it up full screen for them.
I want to say 2 or 3 months after Charlie found that, I'm working and I'm driving around South Jersey, and I see a metal detectorist in a farm field, and so naturally I pull over, walk out, and talk to him. And I was asking him what he found in that field, and he goes there all the time, he said, and he showed me some pictures, and he said he found this fireman button recently, and it was that exact button.
Wow.
Really?
It was that exact button. Yep.
Well, to add to your crazy story, about 6-7 years ago, me, Doug, and the Nickel Nibbler were at a house in deep South Jersey, and Kyle also found that exam button. It's actually in a video of mine from like 8 years ago, but his was in much worse shape and it was hard to see.
Yeah.
So that's at least, including the example that I showed, at least 4 that exist at least.
Wow.
Yeah, I'd love to find one of those. That's
Me too.
amazing.
I was super jealous about that.
Yeah.
And the consensus from the chat is it is a fire seller, Charlie. So maybe that's right. I don't know. There's not a lot of information out there on it, but regardless, it's incredible. And I will say the example I found was actually on eBay, and it sold for like $400. So obviously has value too. Not that that's why we do this.
I can say one thing. I have it cleaned up pretty good now. That photograph that you have of me holding it, that was just right out of the ground. So I did carefully clean it up a lot better. So yeah, you can see it. You can see the man, the outline of the man much better now that I cleaned it up.
Yeah, that picture of me holding it was in the field with just a toothbrushing, which never looks its best.
Right.
I would have had a better picture, but I don't, believe it or not, I don't live with Charlie to get that better one. I'm trying to, but he won't let me.
I am a little bit skeptical that it's a Kohl's salesman, just because fire is one of the main, unless it's pure laziness for early 1800s, pure laziness. If you can't start a fire, I don't know, that just confuses me a little bit.
Well, I mean, I can see it being a service. Like if it's starting to get dark, maybe you worked all day, it's going to take you an hour to start your fire. I could see it. But if you see the bubble letters above his head and the megaphone where he's yelling fire, I can't imagine even back then someone walking down the street yelling fire at the top of his lungs. Like you just don't do that. You're going to put everybody in a panic every single day.
Right. Plus, they banked their coals at the back of the fireplace. Remember the tin things that I have? Curfews?
That's what I mean. If you don't have a fire, you're just not doing it right. You're just not surviving.
Not everybody does it right, Rich. Not everybody does it right. All right, let's move on. Because I remember I told you, Rich, I have 875 pictures. So let's move on. But that was find number 11, I believe, from Charlie, the first appearance in this top 12, but I have a feeling you'll see him again. Number 10, again, for America, I thought this was incredible. If you're in England, it's still incredible. It may have made one of those guys top 10. Who knows?
That's a cool picture, too.
Yeah, I know. That's why I put it in there. It was so foggy that day.
Yeah.
But the number 10 from Rich is a Cartwheel penny from 1797. They were all dated 1797. But it's incredibly rare to find a Cartwheel penny. Relic Riley is here. Oh, Relic Riley. Thank you, sir. Relic Riley, have you ever found a Cartwheel penny? That's how rare these are. And if Riley doesn't find it, you know it's rare. And if you're not familiar with a Cartwheel penny, I have a picture. That's a U.S. large cent on the right. And that's the Cartwheel penny on the left, just to give you some scale of how mega big those things are. When Rich called me over, he had no idea what it was. He had a Frisbee size circle in his hand. He had no idea what he had.
I had heard, I had seen Cartwheel pennies in books, and I've heard of them, but I didn't know that they were that big. So when I found that, I thought it may just be just a piece of metal, just a round piece of metal, not even a coin. And
I believe, I could be wrong if I have any British friends in here, What you found was a cartwheel. It might have been a cartwheel there was a cartwheel penny and a cartwheel 2 pence. Yours might have been the 2 pence to equate for how large it is.
The biggest of the three.
Yeah, because a cartwheel penny, I don't know, it might have been that side. I mean, think of the KG3s that we find, which are large cent size. That's a half penny. So a cartwheel penny would be double that. A cartwheel 2 pence would be 4 times that. I don't know if that's 4 times a large cent size or 2 times, but whatever. It's a big monstrosity.
I think it might go by weight also. So it might visually, it might not look like it's 4 times the size, but that's thick.
And so it's very thick.
It's
Fox
double the size and double the thickness.
Fox and Ground Detecting said it's bigger than a bread box, Rich, and it was.
Jason, I only ever saw one other cartwheel, Doug, and I was with that person. And that person, he was on our he was a guest of ours, Brad Johns.
Johns, you were with him.
Cartwheel. I was with him that day, and he got that cartwheel across the street where Lynn found her nice coin last week or 2 weeks ago.
Okay.
Across the street, he found a cartwheel. None of us knew what it was at the time.
In the chat, I saw someone said Iffy Signals found one. He's up in New England. I'm not saying that they're impossible. I'm just saying they're very, very difficult to find.
Right.
In America.
It was monstrous. It was really a big, well, obviously you're showing it there now how much bigger it is compared to large cents.
Yeah.
And
it's heavy. And they're heavy too.
That day, I found 2 coins, 2 coppers that were only made 1 year.
Yeah, you did. And it's also the same field where the number 1 item was found, the number 5 item was found, and along with several items that really could have been in the top 10, but I tried to cut them out just to, share the wealth a little bit. So let's keep going. But that was cracks the number 10 spot, Rich's cartwheel penny, which I thought was fabulous. Let's see what we got next, Rich. Number 9, and Mr. Doug's not here, and it's apropos that the police were in the background. Because Doug was one smooth criminal, Rich, when he found number 9, this beautiful class ring.
Oh, yeah.
Now, what's really cool about it, and I told the story in the video, if you happen to see it, was Doug tried so hard to return this class ring. He went to the school. He sat down with the principal in the summer and his secretary. The guy came in on his day off. Doug showed him the video of what we found. He went through all the yearbooks with Doug, matching up the initials that were carved on the inside, located the guy, reached out to his parents, which was the last known phone number the principal had on record. The parents said, yeah, we'll contact him, gave the principal his phone number and email. We were going to set up maybe that's what scared him. We were going to set up this big YouTube return, like we were going to have a police escort bring him in because we know the police in that town. Doug was reaching out to the local newspaper. We wanted to do a big deal, a big feel-good story. The world needs more feel-good stories. The guy could care less, didn't want it, didn't return any of our calls, reached out to his parents again. They said, yeah, I don't think he was interested, just didn't want the ring, which is so bizarre to me. But we wound up giving it back to the property owner that we found it on. And I have a picture of it cleaned up there. He played football. The football team was called the Indians. The ring wasn't that old. It was from like 2003 or something. So the guy was only like in his late 30s or so. Just didn't want it. Didn't care. So what are you going to do, Rich? But
I like to imagine scenarios as to why he didn't care at all. And
I found him online. I was like stalking his Facebook page, thinking like, Why would he not want it? And he's like a businessman
Yeah.
now. But I'm scrolling back through like decades of pictures on his Facebook, and he used to be like a fun partying kind of guy. And I thought, oh well, he's got to have a good sense of humor. He's got 2 teenage kids. I thought, oh, they'd get a kick out of it if their dad's on like a YouTube thing. And I thought he'd go for it. Didn't give one crap.
The one most, I think, in my mind, the most plausible reason is if he is a businessman, maybe he doesn't live anywhere near here anymore.
He lives in the same town we found it in.
Oh, he does still?
Yeah, I know exactly where he lives. I know
Wow.
where his house is. I would have dropped it off at his house, but I thought, well, if you're not going to play ball, I'm not playing ball. You know, all I want you to do is meet us and let us hand you this.
I have a feeling his old girlfriend threw it away, and he don't want to get involved with that anymore.
It could have been. I mean, I don't know. He could have just sold it for all I care. Just let me get a picture of us giving it to you.
Right.
That's all I want. But nonetheless,
that was a gold. That was a gold ring, right?
it's not marked. We think it's white gold. Not sure.
Right.
It wasn't marked inside. A lot of those class rings are like 10 carat.
Right.
Usually, my class
it's
ring
still
is 10.
$200 ring, probably $200-$300.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. At least a $200-$300 ring. Why wouldn't you take it? But whatever. But regardless, Doug came in on the number 9 spot with that incredible old class ring that was really exciting to find. That'll bring us to number, what number is before 9? 8? Number 8. And now this was a find. This was a tough one to put in because I'll show the item first. This is it dirty, and I'll bring up the picture of the clean one. There it is for Matt. This was a cap bust dime that Matt found. Beautiful, 1830. I'll bring it up full screen, make it a little bigger for people. Now, it was actually our 3rd cap bust of the year. Rich had found 2 of them. And I didn't mean to snub Rich, but I thought, well, Rich is in this top 12 more than enough times. I wanted to make room. And Matt's was in the best. Oh, Matt's here. Dirt Fisher Matt in the chat. Yeah. That's the Matt that found this, our buddy Matt.
Oh, yeah.
He commented that he thinks it's the best find, Rich.
It is. It's a great find. And, you know.
Was it a dime or half dime?
That was a full dime.
Okay.
And cap busts are we had a good year this year with 3 cap busts. I think last year we only found 1, and the year before we only found 1 of any cap bust denomination. So Matt's saying half dime. I apologize. Matt said half dime. I thought it was a full dime, but I don't have a picture of the back. But yeah, they're just very, very rare. This year, 2024, last year, we happened to have 3 of them. Rich dug the other 2, and they could have made the video just as easily, but I had to put some sort of a time limit on it, and Rich has represented more than enough in the top 12.
They were all of them were in very good shape. I mean, I know they're silver, but they were very good shape for.
Yeah, Matt's it's hard to tell from the picture. It has a very slight bend in it that was not from Matt, probably from a tractor. But the condition on, the details, it was not in circulation very long before it was lost. And at the time when he found it, which was probably like April or May, it was his oldest his oldest silver coin of any denomination, any kind. He has since found a couple reals and passed it, but it was his oldest U.S. or any silver coin to date when he found it, which is always exciting.
You know what, Jason? There are some instances that some of us go out on our own and find some great coins that never make videos because
absolutely.
And then I don't know, like Rich found one when he was with me. Rich, what was that, halftime when you were with me?
Yep, halftime. It was
18. So that never made your videos or anything like that. And
Doug found a cap bust also, but I wasn't there for that one either. And I got to record it. And the best of is like the best of is things that people have seen throughout the year. So if it didn't make a video, I couldn't really add. I couldn't add like
Right.
the cool things you found in England because I wasn't there.
Right. Right.
But no, we do find stuff that didn't make the videos, but
that we do on our own.
Yeah, for the purposes of the best of, I like it to be things that the people have seen.
Right, on your video. Sure.
Yeah, that way it makes sense. But yeah, so that was Matt's coming in at number, what was it, Rich? 8?
8, yep.
I think it was number 8. Let's see, number 7. We're counting down. Number 7. Oh, this was my only appearance in the video. And again, for uniqueness, and Lynn was actually holding the camera for me. She did an excellent job.
Mm-hmm.
Was this King George III 1 shilling bullhead? And I forget what the date was. Let me blow it up and see. I think it was 1820 or something like that. I think they made him like 5 years or so.
16.
16?
I think so.
Kind of mangled from the fields, but rare coin. Didn't know what it was when I found it. So for uniqueness, that makes the list. The guys overseas might find more, but over here, not too many of them. And Lynn, thank you once again for being an incredible camera holder.
Oh, sure.
Anytime. You even commentated, I believe.
Yeah.
Those days are done. Now she holds a triple score.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
I bought a new camera and a tripod so that now I don't have to bother anybody. I can just mount that and everyone can do their thing. So, but that was a good one. That one came in at number 6. Number 5 is, I'm sorry, that was number 7. Number 6 was from Rich. And Riley, I don't know if he's still here or not. When Rich found this one, I called Riley from the field because I wasn't sure exactly if this snake buckle was Union or Confederate. And I have another picture of it here with an example on the buckle. From what I thought, and I'm by far no Civil War relic expert, I thought they were predominantly used by the Confederacy. They bought them from overseas and they shipped them over to the Confederacy mostly. But I could be wrong. Apparently both sides did use them, even though the Confederates used more of them. But I thought that was a super cool find. Only one I've ever been present when they've been found before. And that was from Rich. Incredible Civil War snake buckle.
It just wasn't expecting that up here. Like you said in the video, we don't have a lot of Civil War around here. And I'd always wanted to find a snake buckle, but that's better than I dreamed of.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And what's cool too is in the same field, Doug found a Civil War token. So, we were thinking that most likely it was a soldier who maybe brought back some souvenirs. And maybe this came back with him. Who knows? Who knows how things get in fields and houses and yards and whatnot. But the cool thing is you found it. Sometimes it's hard to know how it got there.
Yep.
But that was super cool. Now, let me see. I might want to pause this next one. I do. I'm going to pause this because this one is number 5. But before I show it, I want to bring in, Rich, a special guest who found number 5, the lovely Miss Jessica Buck. Jess, how are you?
Hey, guys.
Hi, Jess.
Hi.
She had to work late tonight, but she made it in for her appearance in the top 12, which I thought was not only spectacular, but her first one ever. And she was so excited. I wanted to make sure that this got included on our top 12 of the year list. It came in at number 5, Jess, and I'll show it. I'll pick a couple pictures of it. And look at that face Jess is making too. When you film everything in 60 frames per second, you can capture the most, every possible angle.
Yes. That's great.
But it was worthy of that. Here it is dirty in her hand, and there it is cleaned up. I'm going to make it full screen. It's an absolutely fantastic 1732 Pillars and Globes, one real. And look at that scalloped edge on the bottom that you can still kind of make out. Jess, that was phenomenal. What were you feeling when you found that? Because I know how excited you were just from you screaming out enjoy the whole time.
Yes, I was so excited. A real was top of my bucket list. I had a good feeling going into the day, just knowing that how old the land was. So when I dug that target, I had a good feeling it was silver. So you're always crossing your fingers, but as soon as I saw it in the hole, then I knew for sure, and it's still my favorite coin to date.
Oh, really? That's your favorite one ever?
It is, yeah. It's my oldest silver, and it's just such a beautiful coin. It's holed in the top, which you can see there through the U, I believe. So it's just a very special coin.
I think I have a picture of the back too. Let me see. Yeah, there's a picture of the back. I'll bring it up full screen for just a second. Now, you found a second real with us late in the year. Now, as cool as it was, that one didn't make the top 12 list. But this one, your inaugural real, and one of the best looking ones I've ever seen, easily made not only the top 12, but the top 5 of the whole group from the whole year.
Almost as exciting as when I first found it.
That is, I mean, hold on. I wanted you over there. No, it was an incredible find, Jess. And I'm going to roll it back one more time just to show that date side, because I thought that was just phenomenal.
Thank you.
It never gets old when someone finds, a big bucket lister like that, and you're there to see it and capture the moment and see the smiles and, do the slow spray. And, oh man, that was amazing. So
the thing is also
a very quiet field. If you remember, we weren't digging many targets.
We found, as I recall, like 5 things all day. And one of them, Charlie, do you remember your one thing you found in that whole field the whole day?
Well, I think that was Jessica's find. There was the very first find, right, Jessica?
Yes.
And then the very last find of the day was I also found a real at the very last hole of the day.
Yeah. Charlie got a half real. That's only the second time in 10 years of me having the channel that 2 reals were found on the same day, not counting the Cobb field.
Right.
That was only the second time ever. Jess found the 1 real. You found the half real. But Jess's was just, it's amazing condition.
That coin has a lot of uniqueness. First of all, it's whole. It's a whole real. It's a 1 real. And that scallop edge is so unique on that coin. It's so special. It's fantastic. And to find that out in the middle of a field, it's crazy.
Now, it was. And like I said, because there was not a lot of things even around, it's pretty incredible that, she grabbed that one early on in the day.
Right.
So, no, super, super good one there. I'm trying to see everyone's did Wild Kyle come in?
Yeah.
Wild Kyle might be in the chat. If he is, he is in there. I missed him when he came in. Wild Kyle, one of our guests this year, guests this year. That's another thing too. Is I'll pause the top 12 real fast, and just say I meant to say it in the beginning and I forgot. I wanted to say also this is our first full year of doing this quarter after show and having a lot of guests on this whole year. So to just verbally recap that, man, we had some of the big names in metal detecting that were gracious enough to come on. I remember we had Aqua Chigger as our first guest. We had, I can't help me think of them all. Adventure Archaeology came on. We had Brad Martin, Green Mountain Brad, come on twice. We had Gypsy Jules on, KG and Ringy on. We had Matt Howell on. We had, Steph Diggs was on. Relic Riley was on. Wild Kyle was on. I don't mean to forget anybody, but all year long, we had some incredible people that donated their time and came on to tell stories, and really enjoyed the first inaugural year of doing this little live stream that everyone's watching on.
Jason, there's a viewer called Gray Buck Fishing. He wants to put the first bid in for that coin that Jessica found.
Oh, Gray Buck Fishing. I heard Gray Buck is a little smitten with Jessica. So
He just keeps trying to sell my silver on eBay.
Gray Buck Fishing, who's in the chat, is Jessica's husband, who is very supportive and maybe gets more excited than even any of us when Jess has a good find. So I'm glad he made it. Awesome dude too. Tried to convince him to come out a couple times. Hasn't made it yet.
Yeah, time to put the fishing rod down, Jessica.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, he's a pro fisherman on like the professional tour, so he's always out doing that. I think he has his own YouTube channel. He gets a boat every year. He's all over the place. So if you're in the fishing, make sure you follow him, Gray Buck Fishing. I don't know if that's his exact name of the.
Yes.
It is Gray Buck Fishing.
Yep. And we got him out once detecting. Charlie, you were there, right?
Yes, it was a great day.
Yes. He found half a button.
Half a button?
Half a button. It was cut clean in half, I guess, by the plow. But it was so I was kind of like, oh, good find. But Charlie, do you remember what you told him it was, Charlie?
No, help me out.
This was on the Marriott's farm. You said this was right next to the auntie's house. You said that was George Washington's button. It was a colonial button.
And George Washington was there, yeah.
Yeah. So he found half of George Washington's button.
That's incredible.
Yeah,
the other half is with Martha.
Yes.
But
he peaked early and retired.
But also then remember we were leaving the field. We were ready to leave the field, and an 8 reale was found.
Yes.
While we're leaving that field.
Who found an 8 reale?
Our digging friend Jeff.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Right. It was at the entrance of the field where we were digging cans. So
yeah, Robert Thase's brother.
Oh, I haven't met Robert's brother yet.
Yeah,
Robert was in the chat earlier. I looked over, but someone was talking. I didn't want to. Oh, he's still in there. Robert Thiessen, who also runs the Come Out Swinging event, which if you guys aren't from, the tri-state area, it's an all-natural colonial field event that Robert puts on once or twice a year. I'm not sure. But if you want a shot to find coppers and GW buttons, which have all been found at his events in the past, make sure you check that out. Come Out Swinging. It's usually around somewhere in that March to May area.
It's the first Saturday, first weekend in April, I believe, this coming year.
All right, make sure you guys check it out. I'm telling you, it's fun. And usually we try to go, at least some of us. Last year it was the same as the Show Me Hunt in Missouri. So some of us went there and some of us went to Roberts. But I think this year it might be an alternate weekend, so maybe we can all make it.
Right.
And Wicked Digger, another moderator popped in. Wicked Digger, thank you. Oh, and Silver Assassin, who is his digging partner. Man, all the stars are coming out tonight, Charlie. All the stars. Thank you, guys. And Chris Fallon, our buddy who was up, who will be in next week's video. I won't tell you what's found, but he came up and we had one heck of a day. Jess, we're going to move on to number 4. You are more than welcome to hang out with us. Or if you have to go, whatever you need to do. I don't want to hold you up if need be.
Sounds good. I'm going to sign off, but thanks, guys. Thanks for letting me be a part of it.
Yes, thank you. And thanks for making the top 12 of the year, Jess.
Awesome. See you soon.
See you later.
Bye, Jess.
She's good people, and she's already been out with us once in this year, 2025 already too, and started off with a bang also. The Day of the Ladies, I call it, where the ladies dominated over the men. We'll get into that more in a few weeks when that video comes out.
You're going to admit that, huh?
Oh, yeah. Listen, hey, kudos when it's deserved. You guys beat us into the earth.
I came home that night. I told my wife, and she said, good.
Hey, listen, no one roots for the ladies more than I do.
Gotta love Judy.
Yeah, they really showed that they're not just pretty faces. We were the pretty faces that day. All right, let's get back into it, Charlie. Number, I don't even remember what number we left off on. I think that was number 5 for Jess. Oh, there's the back of the coin. Number 4. Now, when my name was called, somebody finds something cool. How it usually works is they won't clean it anymore. They'll call me. They try to wait till it's recording, and then we unveil it for the first time, together while the camera's running. So they called me, and I walk over, and I see that. Now, when I see that look on Charlie's face, and I see that look of perplex on everyone's face, I know it's something unique. I know it's something that, they're just not familiar with. And this one blew us all away. This is what I saw under the flashlight. And I thought, oh, it's got to be some sort of a medallion or something like that. It doesn't make any sense. But nope. What it was this hammered bronze Roman coin from around the year 270 AD that Charlie found in a farm field in New Jersey. Charlie, how the heck did this incredible thing get under your coil?
I don't know. It was crazy. It was just crazy. That entire day was crazy. And when this thing popped up, I'm like, I was perplexed. I very well was perplexed. But after your video, I was surprised how many people have found Roman coins along the East Coast here. I was very surprised at that.
Hundreds and hundreds have been found in North America.
Yeah, Charlie, I probably had, no lie, 30 or 40 people email me or Facebook message me telling me that them or a friend of theirs also found a Roman coin on U.S. soil. Now, how they got here is anyone's guess.
I don't know.
But apparently they're not as unique. Well, they're unique, but I thought it was like, unheard of. But apparently, at least it's heard of. And when you found this, it was probably February of last year.
Right.
And I thought at the time when you found it, I would have bet the farm it would have been the number one find of the year. It came in at number 4. That's
right.
how good of a year we had. It came in at number 4. A Roman coin in New Jersey came in at number 4. Yeah. I thought that was incredible. I mean, it was hammered. It's bronze. It's called an Antoninianus, which I believe meant something like from that period of like whatever it was, 250 to 290 AD. I think there was a lot of Roman ruler turnover. Maybe one guy ruled for 6 months, another guy came in 3 months, another guy for a year. And so because there were so many of them, the coins just kind of depicted a generic emperor. And that's why they refer to these, across the board as just an Antoninianus. But I thought it was a spectacular coin, made in number 4 of the year from none other than Charlie, the Heritage Relic Hunter, who still makes more appearances in the top 12, believe it or not.
It was a good year for me. It was a good year.
Yeah, I would say it was a good year. So let's see, number 3 on the top 12 list, I believe, was Mr. Rich Van Winkle. Now, this one I thought was incredible, Charlie. And this whole day was a really strange scenario, too, because for like a week or two leading up to it, Charlie was talking about this amazing house that he got permission to. And it was old, it was big, it was abandoned. We thought we were going to kill it. And we got out to this house, and within 2 hours, we realized there's nothing there. Nothing. It was just empty of signals. So around noon, we all left and essentially door knocked last minute and landed on this house just to kind of try to salvage any sort of a day. And as it turns out, the number 3 thing of the whole year was found in this last minute property.
Yeah.
And
I have to say,
whoops,
out of all year, this one stings the most.
Yeah, I could see why.
We gave all of our fines to the property owner, and this one does sting the most.
Sometimes it's hard. I'm going to make it full screen real fast because, when Rich called me over, he just knew he had a large cent. Didn't know what it was. It was still dirty. So when I picked it up, I felt a weird lump on it. Now, sometimes a lump isn't uncommon if it got hit by a plow or something and got misshapen. But when we cleaned it, we realized that lump was actually a mint error lump. And it was a mint error lump because the coin was a double stamped classic head large cent, where it went into the minting process, didn't eject properly, and then got hit a second time, as you can see up in that top left corner, which are incredibly, incredibly rare. And even when it does happen, they almost never get out into circulation. So the fact that it got hammered twice, not hammered, but it got minted twice, then made it out of the mint, and then got lost in someone's yard, and then found by Rich over 200 years later, just insane.
And that was I found a pewter large cent that day too.
Yeah, you did. You found one that was made out of pewter, which we thought was really cool. But this one,
weird coin day.
This double stamped classic head, just phenomenal. And for the only reason it didn't make number one was because
Charlie exists.
Two other things. But amazing coin, Rich. You can even see a little bit of the image on there. Yeah. And what's really difficult, and I'll try to make it full screen. You're probably not going to be able to tell. But if you can see the date at the bottom, and it's going to be hard on this photo, you can see a 1, you can see an 8. You can't see the third digit. And then you can see the very top of the last digit, which is like a straight line going across, like horizontally. So the only two numbers that it could have, the only one number it could have been was a 3, because a 1 and a 2 wouldn't have a straight line. But it almost looked like it said 1815. And I say that because no large cents were made in 1815. The U.S. didn't make any that year. They stopped in 1814, and then they picked up in 1816. So when I was there, I thought not only was it double stamped, but could it have been one of the 3 or 4 known to exist 1815s on top of it? But I think it is actually an 1813, because the 3 on this font does kind of make a bit of a straight line. But I mean, man, I'm not 100% sure, because there's a lot of corrosion on that last digit, and Rich doesn't have it anymore to clean it.
So what you're saying is that could be the most valuable coin in the world.
Well, if it's an 1813 double struck, it could be worth, I don't know, maybe a couple thousand. If it's an 1815 double struck, could be worth a couple million. But I don't know. I don't know what it is. And I hate to like rub salt in the wound. I'm just saying, what an incredible coin there from Rich. So congratulations, Rich, on making the top.
Hey, Rich.
A great memory. And
Rich, I'm getting permission to go back a second time. So
really?
Yeah.
Yeah, the guy that owns this house owns another old property, Rich, that's even more historic.
Yeah, so, I hope that happens. But maybe I'll try to buy this coin from him.
Yeah, it's one of those things, sometimes in this hobby, to get on certain spots, you might have to agree to give things up, and you have to decide, are you okay with that arrangement? It can stink, but the alternative is you don't hunt it. So,
yeah, it stings, but I'd still rather the chance to hunt it than.
Me too. I mean, if someone says, yeah, you can hunt it, but I want everything. If I look at that house and it looks super old and the ground looks original and wavy, I want to find it. And if I have to give it up, I give it up. But it would kill me to just walk away and not do it, because I love finding it more so than maybe taking it home. Although when you get something like this, it does sting.
finding it's the fun part. Having it isn't really fun.
Right. It's not as fun. Yeah. The novelty does wear off after a while,
Yeah.
after 20, 30 years or so. But let's keep going. There's 2 left. This was number 3 on the year from Rich Van Winkle. Number 2 from the lone man standing out in the Cobb field, Charlie, the Heritage Relic Hunter, with another monster. And again, when he called me over, him and Rich were looking at it, and they didn't know what it was, but Rich was saying it looked hammered. I thought it looked milled. We weren't sure, but when we cleaned it off and researched it and the dust settled, it was indeed a hammered coin. It was a 1662 Charles II hammered half groat. I believe the last or second to last hammered silver ever made in England, and Charlie's only hammered coin that he's ever found in the country. Is that right, Charlie?
Yes.
At that time, and then he found the Roman coin.
Well, I said hammered silver. Hammered silver.
Oh, silver, yes.
Yeah. I don't know. Go ahead, Charlie.
You know, Jason, in the morning when we started, this is the field where you guys found the hammered cobs, right?
Yeah, we had found 4 hammered cobs in this field already. And this is Charlie's first time at this field.
And you said, it's my time to find a hammered coin.
Yeah.
And I kind of chuckled I chuckled a little bit. Well, I didn't find a hammered cob, but I did find a hammered coin that day.
What's really cool is, we call this field our Cobb field. And before you found this, we had found 4 hammered silver coins from the 1600s, found by 4 different of us. None of us found duplicates. I found 1, Doug found 1, Rich found 1, and Matt found 1. So this was your first day on our Cobb field.
Yes.
I said, Charlie, now you got to find 1. And son of a gun, you found the 5th hammered silver in this field.
Yeah.
And the oldest one by 4 years, this 1662 half groat.
And what's funny, we call it the Cobb field, but think about the names that the other names it could have. It could be the Roman field. It could be
don't say the number 1 find yet, but it could have the number 1 find because that was also found there.
The Cartwheel field. It could be the
Jason. I have a couple of friends in England. They even text me. They were surprised that I found that coin here.
Yeah,
in America.
I mean, there's been so many things found at this field, like Rich was just saying. 2 Virginia halfpennies. What was that? The native thing, the kettle point, the cartwheel penny. It just goes on. There must have been maybe 10 pewter buttons, over 300 buttons total, but like 10 or 12 pewter ones. There was 2 Charles II copper coins found, which we didn't even know at the time because A, they were in terrible shape, and B, we had never seen one before.
And William and Mary's.
I mean.
Oh, and Jay, you found that Scottish Bobby too.
The Scottish Bobby was there. So many things. It was just phenomenal. And Charlie's groat was found there. Charlie, here's a trivia. Or Rich, I'll ask you. Do you remember the nickname that Charlie earned after he found this coin?
Old groat?
No. Charlie, do you remember it? Lynn, do you remember it?
No, I was going to say old groat as well.
You're close. It was a little more PG-13. Anybody in the chat remember the name? I think Sue Ramsey remembers. Well, the name Charlie earned was Deep Groat.
Oh, yeah.
Because he dug it up like 8 inches in the ground.
That's right.
And he earned the nickname Deep Groat. Charlie belly laughed when we called him Deep Groat. He belly laughed. Almost fell over.
Oh, gosh.
But Charlie, fantastic coin. The number 2 coin, which leaves room, Rich, for number 1. For me, this was a no-brainer. Other people may have had a different order, but I'm going to make it full screen and just do these 4 or 5 pictures of what I considered the best find from the whole group of the whole year. Let's check it out. Found by, another picture of Charlie's Groat. Sorry. Number 1. And again, when you look up and see your buddy dancing in the field, either he's got headphones on or he found something incredible.
Well, he had headphones on and he found something.
Well, I meant like music headphones. You're right. I should have clarified.
I know.
So that's what we saw laying on the ground. This is what I saw when I first picked it up. And it just got better and better and better. Charlie's gold ring with a red Burmese ruby stone on it. Look at that stone. And look at that face from the guy who knows he got away with something there. What an incredible find, Charlie. Let me roll back and bring up one of the pictures of the ring here. Not only gold, not only a ruby stone, but there was hand etchings in the old ring. It was phenomenal. Not only rare and precious and valuable, but personal, to be found in a farm field. I just picture that guy freaking out. Oh my God, I lost my wedding ring. I bought it in Rome, 30 years ago. Who knows? I thought that was absolutely incredible.
I couldn't believe it when he called me over. Couldn't believe.
Yeah, you were the first one to lay eyes on it. I'll bring it up again full screen.
And that was a low mid-tone. A low mid-tone.
Really? Let me go back and see if I can get another shot of the stone. There's another shot of some of the hand etchings in it. And I got it. There's a shot of the gemstone. Just absolutely fabulous. For me,
it is a beautiful ring. I look at it often. It's just very beautiful. The gold is real yellow. The ruby just is so clear and pure looking. It's so nice.
Yeah, for me that I don't know if you could have even found anything that it would have beaten it out for me. If you found like a $10 gold coin, I don't think it would have beaten that out for me, because it has that also that personal touch to it, and they're hard to beat out. I thought it was absolutely fantastic.
Teresa said for me that she gave me a black light, and she said, get that black light and shine it over top that stone. And it was fascinating to see how bright and beautiful that stone looks under black light. It was so cool.
Yeah, the facets on it, I mean, it's hard to see it. I mean, you can kind of see a little bit there. I don't like to be one of those guys that say, like, go watch the video. But I mean, in the video, there's 3 minutes of moving it where the light's hitting it, and you could really see it from every angle. If you watch the video where he found it, or even the best of that I just put out, as it's moving around and it's hitting by different angles of light, you can really get a good appreciation for how incredible this ring was. And, just the age, the hand working, the faceted stone, the fact that it's gold. I mean, gold is top shelf, find for any detectorist of any kind. But it just tied everything together. I thought it was just amazing. If I had a lifetime achievement award of a top 10 finds ever, that still might be number 1. I'm not sure. It would be really, really close. So what do you think, Rich? Would you have changed the order up, Rich, or would you have added anything from my top 10?
Oh, I mean, I don't think I would have changed the order, but I probably would have. It would have had to have been a top 20, maybe. There's a few other things I can think of that, you know.
Well, like what?
Well,
give
for me, Charlie's kettle point, only because as a group we haven't found them very much, and
Okay.
the one he found is actually kind of rare. Usually they're just triangles, but his hat actually is notched, and has ears to it. So that to me was huge. I mean, I've yet to find a kettle point, and I'd love to.
I have a picture of it. I'm going to play the slideshow in a second while we are talking about other things. And in the slideshow, there's literally like 700 or 800 images of other things that we found.
Do you have, real quick, do you have the clip of Charlie dancing? Because we should have showed that, you know.
I'm sure I could bring it up. Would you like to see the clip of Charlie dancing?
I think we would like to see.
Okay. All right. I'll bring it up. Hold on. Let me get rid of this.
Ruby gold ring dance.
Let me get rid of this and give me a second. I didn't have it loaded up.
We saw him dance a few times this year, but this was the best dance.
Go ahead, Lynn. I'm sorry.
I was going to say that wasn't the same day that the lady yelled at you, was it?
The kettle point day.
That was
the
the kettle point. I found the kettle point. She played loud music.
It was because it was right on the edge of their yard. Right. We didn't go into their yard, but we were close.
Yeah, the lady was not happy with Charlie, and came out and yelled at him because he was too close to the yard. And then when Charlie politely said, "Well, we're in the farm, we got permission," the lady, out of spite, blasted like on volume 1,000. What was the stupid song she kept playing over and over?
Baby Shark.
Yeah, baby shark, 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 like over and over, like at the highest volume to try to get us to leave. And
but we have headphones on. So
on one end, I was going to say we all had noise canceling headphones on, so we didn't really care. But for filming, as a YouTuber, I'm not allowed to have copywritten music, even in the background, like even if the radio was playing. So when I went to record the next thing and I realized this song is playing in the background, she did kind of get me. We had to walk to the other side to record it. So she turned it off and then we went back again. So yeah, she did kind of.
As Jason, I apologized to her and I said, well, I'm 25 yards, off the property. I was in a soybean field. I wasn't even on the lawn. And then I apologized and I said, but she was like kind of. I think she was drinking. I think she was drinking. She sounded a little loose.
I'm not sure what that was. I mean, it just wasn't very native.
I think it built up for her a little bit because we had been there every weekend for several weekends. So she, probably got tired.
I have a little bit of the dance if you want to watch it. I was able to queue up.
Oh, yeah.
It might play sound. I'm not sure. I'm not going to play the whole clip, but just some of Charlie's dance. He's got.
But we're heading out to Charlie. Charlie was dancing. He's still dancing. Rich came over Rich saw it. I don't know what it is, but Rich.
It was like the mummer strut.
Is it something amazing? Oh, man. Charlie has been like.
Let me see. I think there's another clip when Doug asks him to.
Before you look.
I think he does it again.
No, well, it's not there. It's over here. Charlie, do the dance you were doing. Oh, I saw him. He was dancing across the field.
Yeah.
All right, Doug, let me see. Hold on. Let me come around.
That was just one of the many times that Charlie danced this year.
Yeah.
Charlie, you should go on Saturday Night Fever with those moves.
Okay. I'll lose a few more pounds. Yeah, I'll go on.
Those are very impressive. But go ahead, Rich. I'm sorry if you were talking. I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, I don't know.
I thought I cut you off.
I don't know, but I'll be back in 1 minute.
All right, good. I'm going to load up the slideshow real fast. Now, the slideshow, like I said, has like over 800 pictures. So we can't possibly talk about 800 items, or the show be on till 8 o'clock in the morning. But I thought we would just talk while it plays off to the side, and I'll just let it run. Each picture comes up for 3 seconds or so. And if we see something that jumps out at you, Charlie, we can certainly mention it, because I have no agenda today. It was more of like a let's hang out with the chat. So while I'm waiting for Rich before I start it, I'll do a couple more hellos too, because I want Rich to be here. Show Me Treasure is here. Our good friend Jay Cook is here. Another good friend. Talco Detector. Oh, and I heard Jay Cook had another, like he broke a finger or a toe or something recently. Is that true, Jay? I'm not sure. I heard something like that. Audrey Girlinghouse is here. Love that name. Andrew T. Andrew's Adventures. Joe Nanchuda. Lynn, while we're waiting for Rich, talking about Joe, another Joe who I met once up in Massachusetts. You told me you saw on Facebook today that him or a friend found what?
It was a friend of his found a drape bust silver dollar.
Well, was it 1700s?
I think it was. I think it was like 17
late 90s,
late
something.
1700s. Yes.
Yeah.
Man, do you
Like
know how much that's
97,
worth?
1797 or something like that.
No, I have. Wait a minute. I have a picture of it somewhere that somebody sent me. Let me see if I can find it. It shows the date.
I heard about it just from you before the show started, but a 1790s drape bust silver dollar. Oh my goodness, that's in good shape. That could be worth, a new car.
1798.
1798 drape bust dollar. I don't know where people will be able to see that picture. It's on Facebook. I'm sure it's probably all over the detecting groups at this point.
It's a site about, let's see, old stuff in New Jersey, or wait a minute, I'll tell you in a second.
Those guys usually detect in North New Jersey. Those guys.
Yeah. Well, hopefully it'll make the rounds on the metal detecting sites. I don't know how many people are going to just be on the weird thing in New Jersey site.
It's called Old Stuff Found Around New Jersey.
Old stuff found around New Jersey. All right.
Yeah.
Let me see, Charlie, only because Rich was asking about it. Let me see if I can find, before I start the slideshow, that kettle point. Hold on, Rich.
Oh, yeah, it was. I mean, it looks like an arrowhead, like a stone arrowhead, but kettle.
I did call up Steph up there in where's she? New Hampshire,
Connecticut.
Oh, Steph's in Connecticut. Mm-hmm. She finds quite a few up that way, and she did verify that it was a kettle point. So.
Hold on, I'm scrolling for it now. I'm just going to bring a picture of it up so we can see it before the slideshow starts. Let me see. It's after that, before that. Hold on, almost here it is. All right, so there's the kettle point that he found. Now, being a guy who's not much of a native guy, I know what kettle points are, but I guess I don't have the eye, so I wasn't able to determine if this was just a piece of scrap or a kettle point. How did you determine it, Rich?
I guess just through research, because like I said, I've never found one, but I really want to, and I've looked at a lot of pictures of them, and just holding it and looking at it, you can tell it was very carefully, it was cut that way. And there's just no other reason to do that.
Okay, that's fair.
And it is copper too.
Oh yeah, it was definitely copper. I thought the ones that and again, I'm no expert on this, but I thought they always had a hole in them to be able to, I don't even know, if you tie it off or whatever you do.
That's what I was saying. So you can either put a hole in them or you can notch them like that one is. And so that makes it even cooler, because most of them are not like that.
Well, it was definitely cool. And it was found at the same field as, a good chunk of the stuff that we found today. So what I'll do is I'm going to play the slideshow, Rich, off to the side while we just talk about whatever. If a certain picture comes up, we'll give a story, and by the time we're done the story, maybe 30 pictures went by. So feel free, anybody, to just jump in. If anybody has any questions about an item or anything, throw it in the chat. From here till the show ends is all about the audience participation. Oh, and I think I even have a little game, Rich, coming up in the slideshow. I'll keep my eyes out for it. So I'll play it. Should I play it like this, Rich?
You mean full screen? Yeah.
Well, it's like mostly full screen.
Yeah.
And it starts off, it's chronological. So some of these are January. This was Charlie's good luck token, an old 3 pence that I found. This was the first silver of the year, which was like a little Mary charm, and it just had a little bit of silver on the edge. That was found by Rich. This 2-cent piece was found by the homeowner who joined us that day at this house. And we found, so many things. Doug's Walking Liberty half dollar that we did a live dig on that took like 50 minutes, so I had to really cut it all up.
My little Yorkie.
The Yorkie pin. Charlie's Ted Williams ring. Remember the Ted Williams ring, Charlie?
Oh, yeah.
That did not make the top 12, huh?
It was tough. It was tough. Charlie's a collar disc.
We didn't see it yet, but the Silver Indian from that same yard there.
Yeah, I wanted to put this coin.
Cowboy.
I wanted to put this one in, but I couldn't.
Oh, I love that one.
Yeah,
I know. I wanted to put it in, but I had to, I had to cut my own stuff out too. I just thought it was so super unique. Oh, in this slideshow, I don't have any coppers and very few silvers in the slideshow. It's mostly all the relics we found. If you want to see the coppers we found, you got to go back and watch 52 videos and see all of them. All some of the initial things. This is all just from the first house of the year. This was in January of last year. Some of these incredible pieces. This was the game I was going to play, Rich. I don't even know what I have to give away. Maybe I'll give away some stickers. If I can find a hat, I'll play a little game. So if you're in the chat, get your fingers ready. I'm going to play a little clip of something that was found. And at the time, we didn't know what it was. We found out afterwards from a viewer. And then when I looked it up, they were right. So I'm going to play the clip, and it'll stop at a still. The first person that can tell me what it is wins some sort of a prize. What do you think, Rich?
It sounds great to me.
Yeah, why not? What the heck? I'm going to play it in full screen. I'm going to keep an eye on the chat. Good luck, everybody. Guess this thing.
That thing.
Yeah. Yep.
Do you remember what it is, Rich?
I remember.
Okay. Keep your eyes in the chat for me then. Because I remember, but I did not know it when we found it. I think we said it was a little bell, but that was not quite it.
Somebody says victory nickel.
I know. Smoking Louie. I think he said victory nickel. I do see something that.
Yeah.
I saw somebody put something up, but I don't know if that was enough or not, Rich. I'm not sure. What do you think, Rich?
I kind of think the one.
All right. Well, let the cat out of the bag, because I do see at least one complete answer. I'm going to play it through because it does have the name along with the comment from the person that told us the name. And it is a wax seal matrix.
Yeah. So Ohio Relic Hunter said that.
Someone before him just said seal, but I needed more than that. So I apologize. I got to go with, like Rich said, Ohio Relic Hunter. He nailed it exactly what was typed out. Wax seal matrix. So Ohio Relic Hunter, if you can type your zip code in the chat, just your zip code, then email me your full address. And as long as your full address has that same matching zip code, I'll mail you out a prize. They don't know what it is yet, but you're going to get some sort of a prize. So, but make sure you put your zip code in the chat, or so I don't have a way to verify you are who you say you are.
Jason, do you remember the wax seal, the ring that I found a couple
I got
years
the zip
ago?
code. Thank you. No, I might see it in the photos though.
I'd like to have somebody, an expert, look at it because I feel like it's something special, but it was a green stone, and in it had two people doing it.
What?
Do you don't remember that?
Was that this year or earlier?
No, it was earlier than that, but it was a very surprising find.
I don't remember that. You'll have to refresh my memory. It's odd that I don't remember a stone that has an image of two people doing it.
Yeah,
But I don't remember.
Yeah,
I don't remember. And before I continue,
I think Doug would remember.
He was
before I
one of the
continue,
people.
I do want to say my view 1875 was the viewer 11 months ago that told us what it was. So shout out to him again. My view 1875. I'll play the slideshow. Yeah, Rich, I don't remember. I'll have to look through and see. I can't up. It's not playing. It's just sitting there. Let's do that. There we go. All the silvers from we did Angela and Sean's house. Remember Angela and Sean's house?
Yep.
Charlie's. Oh, my view 1875 is in the chat. Thank you. I did give you the shout out. You were the person that clued us on to that. Crodal bells from Charlie. That incredible token. I think we had like 14 complete Crodal bells that we found this year, along with all the broken bits and bobs of different broken ones. Rich's iron shoe buckle.
Oh yeah.
An incredible find there from Rich. That's the same skeleton key. That was a real dainty one found by Charlie. This amazing barber quarter. I didn't show a lot of coins, but look at that one. I mean, incredible. Jersey Ray Diggs has to go. Thank you, Jersey Ray. My old Mr. Boston bottle cap, the only bottle cap that makes the end of. Doug's red line Hot Wheel car. That thing was a beautiful one. Find full red lines. All sorts of Tootsies and so many, different things. I don't even know what that is. Again, Rich's double stamped one. A bunch of padlocks we found. Knee buckles. There was a bunch of knee and shoe buckles. Coming up, more of Doug's. I also put some of the old clips in. You'll see some of them. Just an incredible day. There's another shot of Doug Stone. There's the football player from the Charles Schaefer is here. What's up, Charles? Adrian Tucker also here.
Oh yeah, that.
What's that, Rich?
Was that the farthing that I found?
Hold on, let me go back.
I can't remember what year that was.
Now, this one I found in the yard where Doug found the gold ring. We did a live dig on it, and I thought it was going to be some sort of a large cent and it is, but it's not that old. It was like 1940 British penny, but we just don't find a lot of British coins. Probably came back from a World War II soldier.
Yeah.
Workman's Adventures is here, and I think is leaving. So hello and goodbye if you have to go. So many $50. Charlie had $2 $50 in this yard. Doug's Hugh Hefner sterling ring. Remember the Hugh Hefner house we did? Where Hugh Hefner, may have visited. KK Karen and her Air Force medal. She had so many good things when we invited her. Your flying eagle that you found at that house, Rich. One of about 8 flying eagles that we found this year. Crodal bells out the wazoo. So many Crodal bells. We got the ring. This property owner was super nice, stood out and watched us all day long, was so excited to see all the cool things that we found. It really just went on and on. There's Charlie's Franklin half. I think that was Charlie's first ever Franklin half, Charlie.
That's right. My first ever, yes.
His first ever one.
I found two that day, two $50. One was Walking Liberty and one was Franklin, yeah.
Yep, the dog whistle. Oh, that's when I blew the dog whistle. It didn't make any sound, but Doug looked over.
Yeah.
He really is a dog. So many. Tarina, remember Tarina joined us, and she found a real wonky silver ring.
Yeah.
Your button that we found at that place that had the old smokehouse that I did the whole little history of smokehouses. Your big giant wall hanging.
Oh yeah.
Aluminum gun. I should have pulled that picture out in retrospect. If the stream stops in a second, it's because I forgot that picture was in there. Tarina again with that silver lid with the stone in it. We think it was from like a snuff box or something like that.
That was cool.
More nameplates, silver coins. This is when we did the fart gag with Charlie. I might replay that fart gag on Facebook in case no one saw it.
We laughed so hard.
It was so much fun. The fart gag we did on Charlie and Judy. Judy was in the car too.
Yeah.
Rich's SLQ. Charlie, your chocolate token that you found. Remember that chocolate token for the old store?
Yeah. Yeah,
that was amazing.
Yeah.
Rich's first year Fatty Indian. I did put in here, not a ton of coins, but I put it in there. You also found that Yosemite Sam thing, Rich, which I thought was pretty unique. The big giant Tootsie fire truck. More Crodal bells. That one from Doug. We got this one, the ring, right in the field. And Doug was happy as a 3-year-old little girl when he got that ring again. Your flag holder. Remember that on your belt, Rich, and would hold a flag?
Yeah, which isn't a flag holder.
Oh, yeah. We found out it's something else. What did we find out it was?
I can't even remember.
But it was not a flag holder.
No.
I didn't put a lot of buttons in here, too. Like I said, the Cobb Field alone, there was 300 buttons. I might have put like 20 buttons in here. I just was trying to show some of the interesting relics. That's when the cops got called on Rich.
Oh, great.
Because he called the cops himself. he butt dialed them from his phone. The infantry button you found at that house, Rich. Crodal bell that you found at the house. Herbert Lee joined the chat. What's up, Herbert? Good dude. Oh, Charlie's shoe buckle he found. The find of the day at that place. That old shoe buckle, Charlie. You remember that?
Yeah, I was done for the day. I was walking back to my car.
Yeah, you had thrown in the towel. Rich's Liberty cap, he found 2 at the same house the same day. 2 Liberty caps.
Yeah.
This is your Liberty cap half cent.
Are we gonna? When are we gonna put out the other thing I found that day?
That's coming up soon. I just edited it last week.
Because for everybody watching, I found a better coin that day than 2 Liberty caps.
Well, I guess it's opinion. It's an opinion.
Right.
But it was good. That smokehouse lock that Rich found. I thought that was incredible. Still opened up too, Rich.
Yeah. I have I have a bunch of old keys. I want to see if that works.
You haven't tried it yet?
Not yet.
Okay. You've only had the lock for 9 months. This is Brad Silver Cow.
That was recent. That was more recent.
Yeah, maybe not 9 months. Wicked Digger found that. We were with him up in Massachusetts. My falconry bell that could go back to the 1600s also got up in Massachusetts.
So Jason, I learned because of that a falconry bell is actually on my bucket list.
Really? I didn't even know it existed until. Your egg's on my bucket list, Rich. Rich is the only person I ever know that
I ever expected.
Rich dug down and dug up a chicken egg. Charlie, this almost made the top 12. Charlie's wedding band that may have been made out of titanium, I think it was. Almost made the top 12. I was trying to spread it out. Yeah, Charles Schaefer, Rich live dug a chicken egg. I mean, that wasn't his signal, but he was live digging a signal, and a chicken egg came out of the hole. And the story behind it was, oh, look at that. Lynn the Vampire Hunter. Another gold ring from Charlie. Oh, how does that one not make the list? All these gold rings from Charlie. No, the homeowner feeds foxes eggs, and every day he leaves eggs outside, and the fox grabs them and runs off, and the fox buried it probably within the last month or so, and Rich, detecting the yard, dug up that chicken egg, probably buried from a fox. Doug's incredible...
If I broke that egg, it would have smelled real bad, probably.
Yeah,
So.
yeah. What did you do with that egg? Did you just give it to the property owner?
Yeah, I think I just left it there on that stump.
Oh, you just left the egg there. It's still rotting to this day. Rich, there's the arrowhead. I'm going to pull it. I'll pause it real quick.
Yeah.
Let me go back. I'll make it full screen. When this video came out, the clip when Rich found this arrowhead unfortunately got ruined by wind noise, and I couldn't salvage the clip. But I do have the video portion of it, so I will show it. Rich, what do you know about this, if you want to let people know, since you're the arrowhead guy?
It's an archaic point, probably a spear, not a spear, a atlatl tip, or a knife blade, but probably an atlatl tip, maybe somewhere from 3,000 to 6,000 years old.
I thought when you found it, you told me it was woodland, but maybe I'm wrong.
Well, I said archaic to early woodland, and then I further researched it after the fact.
Yeah, it was very cool. Rich found maybe 3 or so arrowheads this year. I remember at least one other one that was broken, and then that nice complete one. But sometimes in this, we've all lost clips over the years. If the video didn't come out good, if the audio didn't come out good, and unfortunately, Rich lost that one.
It was a tough day. It was real windy, and
yeah, I really needed the microphones. And sometimes if the mic doesn't work, I don't realize it until after the fact when I'm listening to it back, and I just can't stand if you can't hear it because the wind is like, howling in the camera, and it's real loud, and it's tough. It's tough. But I save every clip, just can't do a whole lot with it as far as, unless you just look at it rather than also play it.
That's a cool clog clasp.
Yeah, clog clasp, didn't know what it was. Oh, I think that's done. I think we got to the last of them. So I'll play it in slow, Rich, and we will just kind of finish out the show. Let me see. Can I play it in slow? Let me see. Hold on. Maybe I can't play it in slow. No, I guess I can't. But I'll play it one more time, and we don't necessarily have to comment on every single one. But, again, these were the cool relics, mostly relics, a few coins in here, of some of the interesting things that we found over the course of 2024. It was an incredible year. And coming up in 2025, now Lynn is an official detectorist, so I'm excited to see what she's going to find this year. I'm anticipating another stunner year. Dave Lee said, yeah, voiceovers are fine. I do a lot of voiceovers, Dave. You might not even always realize it, hopefully, if I do them well. But if during the clip I'm showing the other people, if the camera's facing towards Rich, and at the time it was Rich and Jessica and Charlie in the background, I can't do a voiceover really because their lips are moving, but nothing's coming out. And it looks bad. If it's just me or the camera's at the ground, I can do a voiceover. But when I pan up, if someone's lips are moving, it's hard to, I'm not a ventriloquist. I should learn that though, Rich. I should learn ventriloquism if that's a.
You
if that's
should.
a one.
You should. You should definitely spend a lot of time doing that.
And I think the I'll skip over this. Ohio Relic Hunter, I believe, won the game, but I'll keep going. Yeah, so many good finds. Cape Cod Father, my friend Eric, Cape Cod clips at the end. Yeah, they were in there, most of them. Matt, who was in the top 12 for the cap bust, found that really cool deputy sheriff's badge. And if you remember, Rich, well, I know you weren't there. Charlie was there. Oh, Clad Warrior. Sup, kids? What's up, Chad Warrior? Thank you, brother. We were up in Massachusetts. Matt finds a deputy sheriff's badge. Oh, that was Leroy's. Did I show that earlier?
Oh, that's so cool.
Let me pause that and go back. Hang on. Let me pause that. Leroy found this button, and I knew exactly what it was because I found the same one years ago. And I knew it was an Andrew Jackson campaign button. And what you're looking at in the center is actually like a cap. I think he ran for like the Whig Party or something like that. And when I got home, I looked it up in the Albert's book, and you can see here that, there's the button in the Albert's book. And if you go to the bottom down here where the arrow is pointing, it has a Albert's rarity of 10. Now, Albert's book gives a rarity of everything from 1 to 10, 10 being the rarest. So it's incredibly rare button, and it was the second one I've seen. I have one, and Leroy found that one. So,
and that day for Leroy was one of the best days he's ever had.
Yeah, he found a KG farthing, which was really cool. I think he may have found a William III. He found this button. He found one of the conductor buttons, which I think there's a picture coming up because I found two of them. I think you found one, Rich, these conductor buttons.
Oh, yeah. Didn't we all?
Video. Oh, Finding America. Greg made it. What's up, Greg?
Civil War.
That's Charlie's. I'm not Charlie. That's Doug's, the Civil War token I mentioned earlier. That on one side, let me back up. On this side is just a flag that's kind of like blowing in the wind or falling, whatever you want to call it. And on this side, it says, any man that attempts to tear down the flag, shoot him on the spot, which is just incredibly, graphic language for a token. Found that in the same field where Rich found the snake buckle. Relic Rat, recovery artifacts together. How are you, Relic Rat? Glad you made it in. This one was Rich's. Well, I missed all these earlier. This was Rich's.
That's
Rich's
one of my
Jersey
favorites.
copper. That when he found it, we knew it was a copper, but all the holes were filled with dirt. As he was brushing it, more and more holes revealed. And then when we sidelighted it, we can see just the point of a New Jersey State copper. And I did send it over to Don, the guy that does the New Jersey copper. Really nice guy. He messages me a lot. And he was able to ID the exact make and model. Not make and model, but you know what I'm talking about.
That's
Lynn,
a Ford, New Jersey.
This was Lynn's find before she detected. This is your surfaced find. You remember, Lynn?
Right.
It's a button. Yeah, it's a button.
Morning button.
Yeah, and I think that's Thistle. Is that an image of Thistle, Rich?
I think so.
Yep.
And that's glass. That got hit by the plow or almost hit for probably 175 years. And even though it's made of glass, managed to avoid getting cracked, broken, or nicked in almost 2 centuries. And Lynn found it on the surface.
Lynn, would that be Scottish since it's thistles?
No, actually, you know what? Now that I remember it, it's actually not thistles. If you look real close, it's strawberries.
Oh.
Oh,
it
okay.
actually is strawberries. But anyway, they were made anywhere from 1840 on, and mainly used as morning buttons.
Okay.
That was a surface find, though, Charlie, that Lynn just eyeballed before she picked up the detector It's uses now. This was Rich's skeleton key that came out of the ground like all mangled, like a ring.
Yep.
One of about maybe 8 or 9 skeleton keys on the year.
Well, it's funny that we either find them whole or we find them broken. We don't.
What other options are there?
We don't normally find them bent like that.
Oh, okay, bent. Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
That one's whole, but it's all bent up.
Yeah, it is. It's like a slinky. It's like a skeleton slinky.
You know what, Jason? The neatest skeleton key that I saw was the lady in Cape Cod showed you guys that skeleton key. That
Charlie, the lady gave that skeleton key to Eric, and then when I gave Eric the Chaz Hallett medal that had ties to Goody Hallett because I wanted it to stay in the museum, Eric in turn gave me that skeleton key that the lady gave him. So I have that big jumbo skeleton key downstairs in my display case now.
That's crazy. I never saw one that big before.
Yeah, I'll put a picture of it up in a future video. It's in my key display with my display cases of locks and keys, and it's fantastic. So even though it wasn't dug, it deserves.
The lady found it. I think she said
Yeah, she found it, gave it to Eric, and then Eric in turn gave it to me when I gave him the Chaz Hallett medal. So yeah, everyone walked away a winner. One of the 3 or 4 William and Marys, that we found in that field. They usually come out kind of slick like that. So without the side light and a reference, it's hard to even tell sometimes what they are. So many Crotal bells, like I said. I think all of us have found Crotal bells this year, most of which we were able to get to ring. So many cool buttons. I didn't put a whole lot of them in the slideshow. That nipple button I thought was super cool, almost looks like a dreidel. Rich found this. This was gold.
Yeah.
This was a stick pin topper, right, Rich?
Yep.
With initials, and you tested that, didn't you, Rich?
I did. I can't remember. It was definitely gold. I can't remember whether it was 14 or 18. But
you had a good year, Charlie, when like 9 gold things don't even make the top 12 list.
Yeah.
But that was Rich's. Really cool. This is probably getting into Charlie's Roman coin, which I, included in the slideshow also. I don't even know who found that gold gilt button. I just thought it was cool. Doug's U.S. steel collar pin. Someone's knee buckle. Don't know who. Another flower button. This was Matt's Virginia halfpenny. When Matt found it, it was like hailing snow. Remember, Rich? It was coming down. It was like wet, hailing snow. So he didn't call me over for it. And we were all separated too. But he found this.
Me over. And
you were near him, though. I was far away.
Yeah, and I saw the cross. And I was like, this is something crazy, dude. You need to just keep it here and we'll call Jason over. But
when he found that, I had just left. I had to come home, and it was you're right. Started to snow. It was snowing really hard. I couldn't believe it. I just left, and then I got a text, I think, from you, Rich, and you first thought it was a hammered coin at first. You thought it was
well, you see that cross. I saw the cross first, and I was like, I have no idea what this is.
Yeah, that's actually really nice. Rich found the second Virginia halfpenny at the same field, but Rich's was much rattier. This one came out really nice. So that was an awesome find there from Matt.
Luckily, we identified it, but it was a lot rougher than that.
Yeah. This is the front of the Virginia halfpenny, which is not considered a state copper, but I kind of throw it in that category.
I think it is. I know it's not considered, but in my mind.
Yeah, in my mind it is. I throw it in that same. I lump it in with the state coppers.
Did they only make them for 1 year?
Well, they made them more than 1 year, but they're all dated the same year. What happened was, and I might have this story wrong.
Oh my pause that.
It is paused.
Oh, okay.
Oh, you want to say something about it? Go ahead. What are you going to say?
Well, no, I was saying pause it to finish what you were saying, because then
Oh.
that's my.
Yeah, the Virginia
button.
halfpenny. I think the story is, we were still colonists at that point, still under British rule. The king granted permission for Virginia to make these pennies because we needed coinage. So they made them in 1773, and then it wasn't enough. So we made more of them in future years, but we dated them all 1773 because we didn't have permission to make more in 74 and 75, which would have been like treason. So they dated all of them that year to fall under the umbrella of we had authorization. I think something like that is what happened. Rich, what were you going to say about this button?
Well, you remember we found it. We didn't know what it was. We thought it said Bob. Yeah,
we thought it said Bob.
and you can see there, it looks like it says Bob. But it says L.A., right?
I forget what it says now.
I think it says L.A.
Well, Bob makes more sense. What does L.A. mean?
Well, I think I'm pretty sure it's a military button. I just can't remember.
Yeah. I forget what it did say, but in the field when you found it, I just chalked it up as it says Bob. Now, clearly it doesn't, but it looks like
it. Which is really weird now thinking about it. Like, why would it say Bob?
It wouldn't, but that's what's fun, Rich.
Yeah.
It's fun to think that your button says Bob. I forget what it actually said. And it's an old 3-piece button, too. Adrian Tucker said Louisiana, maybe. If it even said L.A., that's possible. Who knows? Again, Matt's cat bust. One of several cat busts, but the only one that made the top 12. Rich, you found this, which I thought was super cool. It was a fob for a salesman convention from 1914 in New Jersey, and I guess in Pennsylvania, Pittsburgh, and I guess when you went to this salesman convention, they gave you this this fob. There's a picture of the other side. If I included it, yeah, I did. It says TPA, which stood for whatever it stood for.
I can't remember.
I don't remember now. But it was cool. It was very cool.
Charlie, did you get one of those when you went to that convention?
Oh, Charlie's not even paying attention.
No, I'm trying to think. I thought it meant like Parent Teachers Association. I think that's what it is.
Well, I thought so, but when I looked, let me go back. I thought it had something to do with salesmen. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know.
Extension.
You might be right. Maybe it's parent teacher. Who knows? Did parents care about their kids in school back in 1913?
No.
They
do today, though.
Yeah, today they do. Back then they didn't.
Too much today.
Yeah. Charlie's fireman button, easy top 10 for me. Of course, Charlie's ruby ring. Like we said earlier, easy number 1. Once this plays through to the end, we're going to end the show. So everybody hang in there, maybe another 10, 15 minutes. Rich's musket ball that was cut directly in half, smooth as a baby's bottom. We thought maybe like a game piece.
I don't know, because I also found that other one with the etched line going directly center all the way around it, like they were gonna cut it. So I don't know. I'd like to think game piece because that's on my bucket list, but
yeah, I wonder why else they would cut a musket ball in half.
I don't know. I want to
probably
know
use it for playing checkers or something.
Yeah, that's what we thought at the time, some sort of a game piece.
Because soldiers, they had free time there, especially when the weather got cold or rainy. They didn't fight battles too much.
But why would you? I'm just trying to think, like, why would I take the time to cut a piece of lead in half instead of just like using a piece of a stick?
Well, because a stick might blow away if you're playing outside, but the wind's not going to blow lead around.
That's true.
2 people gave their tips for the TPA acronym also. Let me go back.
Toilet Paper Association.
Yeah, Ohio Relic Hunter said Toilet Paper Association, which could be because their butts were on the line back then. That's pretty good. You already won one prize. You don't get two prizes.
Greg said Travelers Protective Association. He would probably know.
Yeah, I think Greg's right. I think Greg's right. And he's smart, so he probably knows. Not that Ohio Relic Hunter's not smart, but Greg's probably right. I might have gotten the salesman wrong, but Traveler Protection sounds like it could have been it. Scavenger Nick said, are musket balls Civil War bullets found in Bucks County? Nick, we find musket balls almost every single week.
Revolutionary War bullets.
Yeah. We don't find a lot of Civil War bullets in our part of Pennsylvania, but if you're more near Gettysburg, I think they do. Or down south near the Maryland border, I think they do. But in our area, like on the east coast of Pennsylvania and New Jersey, not a lot of Civil War, but a whole lot of Rev War musket balls. Doug found this, which I thought was super cool. It was actually a really good, fun what's in the clump because it was totally embedded in a mud ball. We couldn't see any of it, but it was hitting like a 51. So we thought it was going to be good. And as we kept breaking the clump in half, this sterling Native American inspired arrow popped out. Thought that was really cool. So that was a really nice find there from Doug. Again, Rich's Civil War snake buckle, super duper cool. This was, I think Doug found this. I called it at the time an ocean waves button. I don't know what they actually are, but you could actually run your finger down it, and the relief was so high, I could almost like I'm playing the washboard. You know what I mean? Like it was that high relief on that button. Thought that was super cool. And I want to say someone found a second one in the field, maybe Matt or Rich or somebody. The ocean waves button. That's what I called it. I found a gold ring. I found this white gold wedding band at the Cobb field. And what stinks, Rich, there it was right there when I cleaned it off. Beautiful 14 karat white gold that when I saw it, I thought it was silver because it looked silver. It didn't even dawn on me that the number was like so low. But the coolest part is I found it the exact same day Charlie found his ring. So mine really took, the second stage.
Yeah, it was so funny when you were like, when you find a gold ring, but it's not even the best gold ring that was found that day.
Yeah. I said, not only is it not the best find of the day, which is rare, it's not even the best gold ring of the day.
I remember that. Jason, I actually felt bad for you. I really did.
No, you can never feel bad for the guy with a gold ring in his hand.
You found such a great find. And then it really wasn't the great find of the day.
Real quick, Jason, what was the story with your wife? That was the second gold ring you ever found.
What happened was, if I go back, whatever it's been now, 11, 12 years or whatever, when I first wanted to go into metal detecting, when I didn't have one, I wanted to buy a machine. I wanted to buy an AT Pro. And I didn't even really metal detect, but I wanted one. I was watching YouTube videos. At the time, that machine was like $600, $650. So when you make a big purchase, being a kind person, you discuss it with your spouse. I was probably going to do it anyway, but you discuss it with your spouse. So I told my wife, I said, hon, I'm going to buy this metal detector. I always wanted to do it. It's a lot of money. I said, but all I got to do is find 2 gold rings and it pays for itself. And this gold ring that I found 11 years later was the second gold ring I ever found. It took me 11 years to find the second gold ring. And when I got home this night, I laid it on the table and I said, there you go. AT Pro's paid off.
11 years later.
So, no, it's just funny that maybe the guys that hunt beaches find a lot of rings, but hunting farm fields, we don't find a lot of gold rings.
Unless you're Charlie.
unless you're Charlie.
Right.
But yeah, found it the same day Charlie found his incredible gold ring. What's the luck of that? Charlie's kettle point, incredible. This was probably Rich's.
That was the cartwheel penny.
Yeah, Rich's cartwheel penny. Yeah.
I can see it better in those pictures than I can in real life.
Well, as I said, especially this one here, the side light really helps. Without the side light in the video, when I pulled it out of the side light, can't see anything. I mean, it really is the magic of that Perron. Shout out to Olight. Jess's Reale, which needs no side light because this thing was just incredible. I guess we will go through these once. They're going fast. I won't pause it unless we have to. That's Charlie's Reale he found the same day.
Lower one there, yeah.
This is Rich's silver ring with all that fancy. Oh, the day the Nibbler joined us. Remember the surprise when Nibbler made the video?
He had been in the woods for 2 years.
Yeah, like the gag was that he was in the woods for 4 years and then popped out. Worked out good. I just want to go back this one real fast. Rich's sterling ring that had all that fancy filigree on it. That was the shot of the sterling mark.
I think I bent that back into a ring shape.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I can see that. I mean, what do you got to lose, right?
Right.
Alan Cleveland, what did he say? Jason said it took him 13 years to find 2 gold rings and 43 other metal detectors. I've got quite a selection of them now, but I'm saying early on, before it consumed my whole life. You know what I mean? When I'm just a working schlub who's like, honey, I want to buy this new toy, not knowing if I was even going to be using it 3 weeks later. Let's see. Matt found this ring. What's that, Charlie?
Jason, we talked about it earlier. We talked about the cartwheel coin. Why was that made? Did you say why it was made back in the day? That cartwheel?
It was the first penny that they made over there.
It was the first copper penny. I think before that, they may have made a silver 1-cent coin.
Right.
Okay.
It was the first copper penny. Why they made it so big and just impractical for people to carry,
right? I'm
not sure, but that's why it only lasted 1 year.
Okay.
They quickly realized whose idea was this,
Yeah. At the time, it may have been that much copper was worth that much.
But then you don't make it out of copper. Who wants to carry around a brick, in their pocket? It just, was odd. This silver ring was found from Matt. It wasn't bent either. That's what it looks like a tiara type shape.
A wavy ring.
Yeah, there's another angle of it. It looks native inspired. Andrew T. Adventures say cartwheels weigh exactly 1 ounce. So it is. It's very, very heavy. And Greg wants to find one of those bricks. Yeah, they weren't easy. That's the only one I've ever seen, Greg. If you swing over it, though, you'll know it. It's like a Morgan dollar, bigger than a Morgan dollar. This was Doug's, just a random token, but it was just massive, and it was all brass. Just said 50 cents like that on both sides. Let's see what else we got. I thought this was super cool. This was found by Doug. It was an Alamo souvenir spoon, probably from the 30s.
That is cool.
As you can see, it was really mangled up. But he found the whole spoon. This was the bowl, and you can see the picture that I put next to it of what it would have looked like. The whole thing's sterling. And then this is what the handle would look like. You can see it would say Texas going down the handle. There was a leaf up at the top. And I think if I have the other picture, yeah, there's the top picture. It had a star of Texas at the top, and you can kind of see the steer's head under it. The whole thing would have been incredibly decorative, but the plow beat us to it and really mangled it up. But I thought that was an incredible find. This was Charlie's another collar disc. This one was in the field, we thought it was for cavalry, but it was actually for a military school. And the school name started with a C. I don't recall what it is now. But Doug found that. I'm sorry. Yeah, was it Doug or Charlie? I forget. One of those guys. It wasn't me or you. Doug found this, another fob, massive one, the great seal on the front, and the back had all this thing about, I don't know, you can read it. Just some sort of an advertising fob. Do love fobs, though. They're always fun to find, always different. This was Rich's coin. It was just a big, giant George Washington token. Again, it was probably $50 size. Do you remember it, Rich?
Yeah, I remember thinking, what is this thing? You know.
The relief was super high on it, and it was huge, all brass. Really cool. Probably blew your earballs out when you heard that thing.
Yep.
The Nickel Nibbler found that Mizuma Gum John Paul Jones token. We found the entire Mizuma Gums set of tokens probably 5 times over from this one location. In fact, you know what's crazy, Charlie? Of all the people I've ever known, no one has ever found a Mizuma Gum token outside of us, with the exception of Greg from Finding America. He found one in a video, a Buffalo Bill, I think it was.
Oh,
I'd never heard anyone else finding one except for our 300 of them at this field, and then Greg's Buffalo Bill. If anyone else has ever found a Mizuma Gum, please let me know. I don't think they're rare. They just didn't make many of them. They were made right in New Jersey. They only made them 1 year. And for whatever reason, our Thousand Holes field.
We have most of them that were made.
Yeah, we have 90% of them. Greg said almost the same time you put yours out in the video. Yeah, so, but I remember Greg because I thought at that time I'd never seen or heard of anyone else finding one. Oh, NEPA History and Archaeology said he finds them. And Clem Fandango said 44 million 1 penny cartwheels, only 720,000 2 penny cartwheels. So, yeah, the 2 pennies obviously much less. They probably ran out of copper at that point. They're so darn big. These pewter handmade star buttons that we were finding. Rich found the first one. I think Matt found 1 or 2. I was really jealous. Eventually, I found one. I think we found 6 or 7 in total, all handmade from the same piece of clothing, all at the Cobb Field.
I think KK found one too.
Karen might have found one. Yeah, she really did well there. Well, I don't even remember these pictures. I'm not sure what's coming up. Another knee buckle. I think that was Charlie's.
Yeah, I found it at the Cobb Field near the solar panels.
Okay.
I found
Charlie's
the Cobb Field way in the far field.
Yeah, Charlie's John Deere pin that he found way out in the side. That was really cool. I think it was like from the 30s or 40s. It was really old, you know, for John Deere.
It had the words John Deere in the back on the reverse.
Yeah, it was written right on the back.
And you can see the plow there. The deer's jumping over the plow.
Yeah, it was super cool. Doug's Trime, 1852 Trime. I love that side right there. It came out really good. This was a weird one from Rich. I included it because when Rich found it, we must have looked at it under the light and from the side for, a half an hour. And when Rich got home, he kept looking at it. And he thought he was able to see. I was never able to get an image of what he thought he saw, but he thought he saw enough to say that this may have been the 6th hammered silver from that field. He thought it could have been what, Rich? I'll make it big for a second.
It's the same coin that Charlie found. It's a half groat. And
You're sure of that?
Yeah, I sent it to people who are in Europe. And they agree.
I mean, I don't know who you sent it to. Did you send them a better picture than what I have? Because from every angle we looked at it, we were never able to make out anything.
You can't see it there, but there's lettering around the edge. All
right. So, yeah, I forgot. So it's possible a 6th hammered silver was found from that field, but I can't give it the 100% guarantee because I haven't seen it personally yet. But Rich is pretty confident.
It was also the other clue is that it rang up a 32.
That is pretty good.
Whereas even the half real I found there that was completely wiped, that was still a 41.
Okay. It was
Yes.
like dime size, wasn't it?
Smaller.
Oh, so maybe another half groat, maybe?
Yep.
It was the same size as my groat. Same size. It rang up the same number.
It's a shame Charlie's was so nice and yours was so, bad. But,
Well,
yeah.
I'm still happy to have it. We all got a nice hammered coin out of there. So.
Well, you had a hammered even before this, so this might just been your second one.
Well, no, I just mean whatever it is, I'm happy to have it.
Yeah. Now, Turd Ferguson says he sees letters in the upper right. I do. I'm going to make it big for a second. Up here, I do see what looks like some letters, but as we rotated it, this exact image was the best I could illuminate those letters. So it's hard to tell what it is exactly. I think it's most likely a coin, but I just, without being able to ID it for sure, I don't know 100% what it is. Maybe Rich got a better image of it, later. I'm not sure.
We know it's an old silver coin.
Yeah, it's an old silver coin of some sort. Let's see what else we got. I think Joe said he found that Liberty Cap, one of very many for the year. Rich, I had edited this video to potentially, if I expanded the year's best to top 15, this was number 15, but then I decided to make it 12 because it was your first ever barber half, which, listen, barber halves are great and all, but for a top of the year list, I just thought we found more unique things. So that was a tough one. Well, what I liked about it is that we recorded the whole thing almost from fresh from the ground, dirty, not knowing what it was, spraying it. And if you can capture the whole journey, I love that. So for that reason, even more so than what it was, and it was number 15 before I chopped off the last three numbers.
Just to tell everybody watching, this is why you dig questionable signals, and because that I found in the Cobb field, right in a spot that all of us had been over 100 times before.
Yeah, easily.
It didn't sound good. It was really deep, and I got enough of a chirp that I took a chance on it, and it was a big silver.
It's surprising that a silver $half, wouldn't sound good. Yeah. But if it's on edge and it's deep, Rich said he only heard it like a chirp, one direction, and that Cobb field's one of those places where you dig every single signal. It doesn't matter what number it is, you dig everything there.
Yeah, and if you remember, I was even more excited. Like I thought it was going to be something older than that.
Yeah, me too.
I mean, I'm very happy to have that, but I thought it was going to be something,
Yeah, I did too, only because most of the things we find there were older.
Yeah.
There's a picture of the back, and it did even have a New Orleans mint mark on it, which was the rarest of that year, the O mint mark. So that was good. And I think the next slide was also in the top 15. This was number 14. This was found by Charlie. It was a seeded full dime, but it was a really old one, 1838. And look at the condition on it. When he first found it, it looked a little too big. We thought it could have possibly been a 20-cent piece.
Yeah.
And we were all, because it was still covered in dirt. It looked large. I'll go back. It looked like this. I'll make it full screen. I couldn't quite see the date, and it's bigger than a rosy dime. So I thought, man, bigger than a rosy dime, not quite quarter size. Could this be a 20-cent piece? Which are unheard of. That would have maybe been number 2 on the year if it was. But it turns out it was just a seeded dime, but in incredible condition as I play it through. And I forget if 1838 is a first year or a second year seated dime, but I thought that was just beautiful. This incredible coin there from Charlie. Let's see what else we got. Ball button. I think this was from Rich. We did find several ball buttons. I found that little gemstone that was surrounded by sterling. I forget who found that. Another 2 center, 1864. There's the other side. I don't even know who found it. I don't know anyone that's ever found a 20-cent piece. I see people in the chat. It would easily be number 1 or 2. I just have a hard time letting go of Charlie's Burmese ruby ring from the number 1 slot. As rare as a 20-cent piece would be, I don't know. For me, that gold ring is just, I can't get it out of my mind. Watch winding keys. Who knows how many of those we found this year. That is I think it's a Connecticut copper.
Yeah, that day when we found 2 or 3.
Yeah, this is the second one, and I had to turn it because wasn't much detail on it, but from that angle you could see where it does say Octory on it, because there just wasn't a lot of detail on the coin other than that.
That day we found quite a bit. 2, I think you said 2 there we found Connecticut's.
Yeah, 2 Connecticut's.
That's the day we didn't have any place to detect. And my friend said, well, why don't you just detect next to my house?
Yeah.
I said, what's there? He said, I don't know, but you guys are looking for a place to detect next to the house. And we were there all day then at one spot.
Yeah, we found like 5 or 6 coppers. We found 2 Connecticut's, some silvers, crotal bells, buttons.
Yeah, and the only reason why I said okay to him, well, we needed a place to detect. The road that was there was a real old road, and that just gave me the idea that day. Well, let's try it. This road was here for 300 years. There might be something in this field here, and it turned out to be a great day.
I think we even looked on the LiDAR maps and saw 2 structures in the field he owns up near the road, and that kind of got us real excited to.
That's right.
Yeah, go check it out.
And this was my first Jeep find or open topped vehicle find.
Yeah, his first one. And we have a thing on the show, if you've never watched the video, is anytime someone finds an open vehicle, a convertible, they have to take it for a ride in the video. And they stand in the background blurry, and I move my hand and they have to walk like they're driving it. So this was Rich's first time driving an open topped vehicle in the field. That is Rich in the background. It's hard to tell it's him.
I thought it was Sasquatch.
Richard, this was a sterling piece of silver with a scarab beetle. That stone, it's hard to tell. It was etched into the design of a scarab beetle. It was really cool. An old rail hook, an old brass rail hook. They're always fancy. Rich's 2-piece wolf button. This almost made the list. I think I had this at number 13, Rich, even though it's not super old. It was Rich's sterling silver cowboy brooch, probably over 3 inches tall with the lasso and the hat. Just thought it was amazing. It might only be from like the 50s or 60s, but it was a huge piece of silver, probably the biggest piece of silver you ever found lengthwise, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, and that's honestly, I mean, a sterling silver cowboy is the last thing you're expecting to see when you open the ground.
Yeah, and if you could tell from the picture before, hold on, I'll go back. This is it really dirty in the ground. You can see the lasso was bent out of shape, even though it was pretty complete. But when we finally got it cleaned up, Rich bent the lasso and he was bending it. I'm like, oh, Rich, that's so thin, it's going to break. And he's like, I'm going for it. And luckily it didn't break and he bent it back into the lasso shape. So that was super cool.
Silver's pretty good like that.
Yeah, it did hold up and it made the bend. I thought that was a great piece. Let's see what else we got. This was Doug's. We found several silver spoons at this house. This one was Doug's. It was busted. He did find those 2 pieces. And then Rich found an awesome one. It's coming up. Oh, this was mine. We didn't know what it was at first. Turns out it was an old Victorian pencil sharpener. There's a hole at the bottom. You put your pencil in and you would turn it, and there was a little razor blade inside. Thought that was really cool. The video shows more of it. This is just a still. Doug found the shoe buckle that had an iron piece wrapped around it because there was a blacksmith shop there. We think that blacksmith may have done something to tie that piece of iron around it. But Doug got a bonus with his shoe buckle prize. Thought that was really cool. That's the back of it. You can see it was indeed a shoe buckle. Rich's seated dime. I think that was your first seated dime. Was it your first seated dime?
Yeah, with 2 mint marks.
Yeah. No. This wasn't the CC one. This must have been your second one then.
Wait.
But I love the toning lines on it, though. That's a natural black toning.
I feel like I've only found one seated dime.
No, because you found that Carson City, and then you found this one at the same place you found the Silver Cowboy. You found it in the front yard by the point.
Oh.
I'll show you the video later. I remember.
Yeah.
This was Rich's silver spoon bowl there, and it doesn't look like much here, all dirty.
Oh,
but
yeah.
when we sprayed it, it's my favorite silver spoon bowl I've ever seen you find. Here's the image. I'm going to blow it up full screen because it was super cool for you to see the detail on it. There's a whole clock face at the top. There's an image of a baby in a bassinet underneath of it down here. We think it was like, what do you call them when you give someone like a silver spoon for a baby, Lynn?
A baby gift?
I thought it had a unique name.
Well, they would have the time that the baby was born. They'd have the hands of the clock engraved on there and give it as the gift.
Ah, that's what it was. Yeah, because I remember thinking we thought it should have been engraved in this area with the time, or maybe they put the hands on later. So you buy this as a generic silver spoon.
Right.
And then you should have etched in more, but they just didn't do it.
The baby's name maybe went on that part.
Oh, yeah, that's good too. Yeah. But I thought that was fantastic, super cool. And it's not even a baby spoon. It's like a full-size teaspoon. You shove that in a baby's mouth, they're going to choke. Look at it next to my fingers. I got big manly hands, Lynn.
Yeah, it's not a baby spoon.
It's really just a commemorative gift.
But it's cool. I'm saying it's super cool.
Yeah.
Super cool. Let me see. Well, I missed all the. I remember the house where the woman found the gravestone. Her name's Angela. Under her porch, found this gravestone. And I went back another day by myself, and we found where the actual gravestone is. They moved. They exhumed the body at one point, put a new gravestone. It was a whole story, but she saved it. It wasn't when she bought the house, they were using it as a step to go on to the front door. And they realized it, and she cleaned it all up and is now giving it the respect it deserves. I think the girl that died in 1830, so 200 years old. And, I thought it was really cool. It was really nice of her to save that. Doug found this at her house, just a super cool medallion. Charlie found that old, I think it's Navy button. Rich, I don't know, random cross and some red-ware. Charlie found that skeleton key, which is what the homeowner wanted most of all, and he gave it to her. She was really thrilled. Rat tail spoon that was found there by a neighbor. A neighbor came over, seeing what we were doing. We brought extra detectors, gave him one. He hunted almost all day and found this, which I think was wound up being the oldest find of the day, found by the neighbor who'd never detected before. Go figure. Rich had a great silver day that day, 6 silver coins. But I think I found silver. I think everyone found silver that day. But Rich led the charge with 6 of them.
Well, you were all standing around talking while I was digging.
That's true. That's pretty much, that happens a lot, doesn't it?
It does.
Okay, and now some of these we got into, but I might have skipped them. Charlie's skeleton key. I think Doug found that barber dime. Charlie found that old bell. Rich found this token. I forget what it was, but when you pulled it out of the ground, we thought it was a Nova Constellatio with that sun ray and all that. Turns out
it's a Civil War token. It's got a turkey on it. And
is that what it was?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a cool old token. The Reale Lights cigarette belt buckle, which was super cool. And yes, that is a bathtub that was in the guy's side yard. It was like an old clawfoot bathtub that was just sitting outside. And we were using it to hold some of the trash, that bag that was in there. We found a lot of stuff at his house. Old dog tag, 1932. Rich's iron shoe buckle, which we did clean up, and it cleaned up great, as I recall. I think it was like real shiny, almost looked silvery. Charlie's skeleton key. Let's see. We should be getting through them here. I'll let him run unless something amazing comes up because I'm getting tired. I found that barber quarter, which I thought was just beautiful. Looks like there's a mint mark on it. Oh, my old Mr. Boston bottle cap, which I still talk about to this day. I hope I find another one.
Notice he put that in here twice.
Yeah.
No, it looped, Rich. It looped.
Oh, okay.
Doug's Hot Wheel red line car, which when he sprayed it and cleaned it up, oh my goodness, that's gorgeous. Those red lines are so rare. And that was a real nice, complete one for Doug.
It's probably $100 car.
Yeah. Found lots of Tootsies at that house, too. I didn't put all the pictures of them in. Rich's double stamped classic head. Large cent, that keeps coming up. I'm sorry, Rich. Some of the padlocks we found, the sleigh maker, another knee buckle. My throat's getting hoarse. Doug's class ring again. I don't know where we are in the thing. This is probably like, wow. Let me see how much we got to go. I'm going to let it play so we can end this soon unless something amazing pops up. Again, this is just some of the cool stuff throughout the year that we've, come up with that just didn't make the final 12, but I thought it would get one more last show before we go into 2025 and maybe never see it again. One of Charlie's $2.50 he found at this house. This house was fantastic. The Hugh Hefner ring. We call it the Hugh Hefner ring because the guy at one time that lived in the house, I'll pause it real quick. A guy that lived in the house at one time back in the 1950s was Hugh Hefner's #1 photographer. And at one point, they thought he brought Playboy bunnies to the house and used the house as a backdrop. It's a beautiful colonial stone home. And we thought, back then when Playboy was new in the 50s, early 60s, there's a good chance that Hugh would have visited the house for the shoot because he was very protective of the bunnies. And if Hugh was there, could he have dropped that sterling H ring? I'll go back and show it real quick. Hold on.
It's very weird, Jason.
There it is. What's that?
Those bunnies that he brought there are probably in nursing homes now.
I know, Charlie. If they're probably 80 years old.
That's just like when they show scenes of Woodstock, with all those young girls and guys. They're all in nursing homes now, or not even alive.
Yeah, it's it is weird. A lot of these things, I think about that a lot when we say like a coin we found is whatever 200 years old or whatever. But you really think about it. I mean, that's like, my grandpop's grandpop was alive then. It's just after a while it just starts to become, you don't even realize it. But 200 years ago, and how different the world was.
Like my coin that we showed earlier, 1662. What was life like in 1660?
Yeah, totally different.
Totally different.
So I don't think that was really Hugh Hefner's ring. I'm just saying it could have. I like to imagine.
Right. Hey, it could be though. Hey,
you don't know. That's half the fun is the imagination you get to have.
Heck, that could be my ring. Harley could have Harley on it.
Were you there when the bunnies were there? Judy wouldn't like that.
No, but my great-great-grandfather could have been there checking out the bunnies.
Oh, well, the bunnies were from the 1960s. I don't think your great-great-grandfather was still alive.
That's probably my dad, maybe.
Some more just random things that are interesting. Rich's flying eagle scent. Was that your first flying eagle, Rich?
No, I'm up to 5 or 6 now.
Oh, okay. Doug's not here to rub it in, but
Yeah.
I put this in. Karen found this, the little lady harmonica. The thing's about an inch long, and I had found that same one many, many years ago. So me and her were in the little lady harmonica club. It actually went on a keychain back then. So just thought that was really cool that Karen found one. More Crodal bells. That one, we got the ring right there. The homeowner was super excited to hear that thing ring. Karen found this beautiful gold gilt cufflink. Charlie's second half dollar from this site. It was this beautiful Franklin, his first ever Franklin half, and his second half of the day. As you found it, I found that belt slide that was probably military, but like all my stuff, whatever I find, someone else finds something better at the exact same time. Karen found that little silver ring. The dog whistle that I mentioned earlier that I pretended to blow and Doug actually looked up. How weird was that? Another silver ring. This one was from Tarina. Great story. Tarina and her husband, they were a door knock house, and we got along so well that we are still friends. They call us once in a while with a property for us to hunt because they work on old houses for a living. And her husband, Frank, and Tarina actually came to our yearly Christmas party at Lynn's house just last month.
Right.
So a lot of these homeowners we do stay in touch with, even way later. I'm going to just skip that because of the shenanigans from last week. The double buckles that Doug found, remember I broke the tine off one of them. So I apologize to Doug. Doug also found this beautiful that we thought was a sterling makeup compact. It wasn't sterling, but it opened up into 3 pieces and was actually made by like a really rare, like a Gucci of his era. I forget the guy's name, but it was really cool and totally complete. Tarina found the snuff box lid that had the stone on it. Got a good shot of Tarina. I love that bokeh background, Rich. You know that. Rich finding all the nameplates at the one house. We tried to track them back. This was Doug's spill. That was all in one hole. Our fart machine gag, which was hilarious. I'm going to probably play that on Facebook to give that more life again. I didn't want to have a 3-minute break in the video. Doug found this frog at the same house, and when he brought it over to show me, the frog peed all over his glove. So that's what you get, Doug, for picking up the frog. The pew-pew that Rich found was not even real. It was aluminum. It was poured aluminum made to be a wall hanger, but it was like a foot long, and Rich found it in the ground. It must have been like the max number on your machine. I can't believe that was buried under the ground.
Yeah, another one of those things that you just
would never think.
Yeah.
Yeah, you never think you'd find it. Pocket watch. I'm showing this because when I cleaned it and I rubbed it, just like the bottle cap, I rubbed it and all the letters that you can see rubbed right off. So I ruined it just by rubbing on it. So that's the best photo I got of it. I'm going to try not to pause it because we're all getting tired. SLQ, Charlie's chocolate token from the factory, 1920s, or no, it was 1800s, I think. Oh, man. And again, if while this is running, don't forget, next week we're going to be back with a guest, Gig Master, who found some great stuff. He also does those things where he pours the melted silver in fire ant holes and then digs it out and makes art, which is super cool. So I'm excited to have him on. He's a good dude. So next Tuesday, the Gig Master will be joining us as a special guest. What was that, Rich? I forget. That what we call a flag holder?
I can't remember what it actually was.
You sure it's not a buggy break?
No, it wasn't a buggy break. I don't want to go back because we'll never get done this show. But I forget what it was. I thought flag holder was a sexy guess. I'm still going with that. Just sounds cool. That big giant religious thing you found, the police being there. Oh, that thimble, that wasn't even silver. I don't know why that was in there, but that was cool. Your infantry button.
Yeah.
More Crodal bells. I don't think we got the dirt out of this to hear it ring that day. I think it was really, really hot, and we were just trying to get out of there. We were sweating like pigs. Charlie's shoe buckle, which was beautiful. As he was leaving on the walk back to the car, dug that gorgeous shoe buckle. The best find of the whole day.
I was having a bad day that day. I wasn't really getting anything good.
Yeah.
And I was a little, disappointed. I said, well, I had to leave. And on my way out, I found a great find there.
Yeah, that was. It was gorgeous. All the design on it.
Nice. Yeah, you never know. You just never know.
No, you don't. You got to do it to the end. Rich's Felix the Cat pin. That was cool.
Football game.
That fob, which was like a presidential fob from 1904 that said Douglas Fairbanks and Roosevelt. Thought that was awesome. Rich found that Liberty Cap half cent the same day. The smushed silver ring, some sort of a stone. I think it might have been glass. Charlie, your little sword. Remember the little sword you found?
Yeah. It's kind of cute. About 3 years. There you go.
Jessica found that lion drawer pull the same day. And I found that fiddleback spoon that had initials etched in it. I always hope to see Paul Revere, but I never see that name, Lynn.
No.
Nope.
Not yet. Not yet.
This year.
Not yet.
Some sort of a busted skeleton key. Rich found this silver fiddleback spoon. It's hard to see. There's initials in the flattened handle. Thought that was really cool. Probably maybe 1700s. More Liberty Caps. Rich's Smokehouse padlock. My favorite padlock of the year right there. The dust cover. Did you ever get that to spin again, Rich?
A little bit, not perfectly, but
yeah. But the shackle, the next picture you'll see, the shackle opened right out of the ground. All brass, nothing rusted. Doug's pewter button, that could go back to the 1600s.
That was a cool button.
Again, Rich's Helena coin, which did make the top list, 1821. These finds from Brad, they're only in the video because I was there and recorded them. Brad's silver knee buckle that broke. And that's my moderator, Wicked Digger, big, giant silver-plated shoe buckle, along with my falconry bell, my best find from that whole weekend. Nicola found that, Rich, which is really cool. It says Dairy Dan, and above it at the very top is an engraved image of a milk delivery man's face. Can you see it, Lynn?
I see some. Oh, yeah.
It's right up here.
Yeah.
I think that this clip did not make the video because there was some sort of wind noise or something, but it does make the whatever this is. That was an old buckle. I forget a Baldric buckle. I forget what they called it. Matt found this, some Atlantic City thing. Rich's egg again. The greatest egg I've ever seen dug out of the ground. Found by Rich Van Winkle.
Best.
Charlie's titanium ring, which we thought was costume at the time. Turns out it may have been something super precious. Offset, that way the engagement ring can fit in there. Look at that, all cleaned up, Charlie. Stunner. Charlie's
there's another precious metal besides gold. It's like a radium type metal that's fairly precious. I forget the name of it.
Platinum? You mean platinum?
It wasn't platinum. We did test
one step
it.
above platinum.
Oh.
Ratinum, radium, ratinum, or something called ratinum.
Something. I don't know. It turns out it was really, really good. Radium. Adrian Tucker is saying
radium. It's one step above platinum. Yeah, for value. That's what I think it is, because they said it's like chrome-like.
It does. It looked like chrome, but it didn't look cheap, so it was really confusing at the time.
And they're real diamonds too. He took it to a jewelry store. He says real diamonds. So I don't know.
Didn't even make the top 12 list, Rich. Rhodium ring with real diamonds gets snubbed from the top 12 list.
That could be a $10,000 ring.
Yeah, doesn't even make the list, Charlie. Doesn't even make it. All right, we're getting into at least almost winter now.
Rhodium. David Cassidy said rhodium.
Yeah, okay. It was really cool, though. Jess's beautiful Tomback button with that star etched design. Oh, I love that picture, Lynn. Lindiana Jones, Vampire Hunter.
Yeah.
I think this is Lynn's first ever detecting find when
It
she went
was.
out all day long. Her first find ever. And we always say, Charlie, new people always dig big things because you're not used to like tight swings. But this is the biggest big thing I've ever seen.
Actually, you're wrong. That was the second thing she found.
Oh, what
Big
was the
thing.
first thing?
Volkswagen bus.
Oh yeah.
But that's a super cool picture, Lynn. You should make that your logo.
Oh yeah.
Vampire Hunter, Lindiana Jones.
I'm hoping for something better.
Another precious ring from Charlie. This one, 1961 class ring. There was probably a stone on the top of that broke off along the way. I think that was 14 karat, Charlie.
That was a 10 carat.
10 karat.
10 carat, and we couldn't find whose it was because the school name was broken off the top there.
Yeah, and then there's no name. There was initials. I think right there you can see the initials, but we didn't know what school. So cool. I mean, it's really hard to track down initials without even knowing the school.
Mm.
Yeah, I think it was 1968. Doug found that.
I did a little dance, if you remember, too.
Oh, I know. You were dancing on that one, too. Doug found that two-hole button, but just interesting shape, had interesting texture, and it was all made out of copper. Doug's Army thing that we had to bend into shape in the field and had that cool old rifle on it. Rich dug that little who's my what's it, don't even know what it is. Jess's second ever reale. This one was 1743, I think, half reale.
Yeah,
Rich's
that was
arrowhead.
our family farm.
Yeah, on your family farm. Rich's arrowhead that he got there. My Sterling cufflink that got there. It was a really good place. This is our New England trip, just like last month. We're getting near the end. Alan Cleveland yelled out gun. The Chaz Hallett medal that I did the Goody Hallett reference to up in Massachusetts. Doug's $50. These are Massachusetts finds we went up there. This thimble, which I think is 1600s, right, Lynn?
I believe it is.
Yeah, really old thimble that we got at the Airbnb we were staying at. Got that right outside. You know, we got there an hour before dusk, didn't have a lot of time, and I pulled that super old thimble. We found a bunch of coppers too. I didn't put coppers in this clip though. Charlie got that for the old salt bag. I don't know how you pronounce that. Worcester salt, somewhere up in Massachusetts. Steph found this. I just loved all the gold gilt on it and never saw that maker's mark before. Delavan, never heard of it. Thought it was really unique. The two aluminum giant fish we found. There was giant cods over the house dormer, so I thought that was a cool tie-in. Doug's dog tag that he got up there. Eric's first ever Crotal Bell.
Number 15.
Doug, number 15, the top size. Doug got this furniture tack that could go back to like 1880, and that furniture company is still around today. Thought that was really cool. Nicola's big dandy button with the fancy design etchings on it. Steph found that ring. I forget what she called the material, but thought that was really cool. Had a little stone in it. Again, the sheriff's badge. Oh, the story of the sheriff's badge. You know, we're from New Jersey, Matt and I. We drove up to Massachusetts. He finds this sheriff's badge from Essex County. There is an Essex County, Massachusetts, but there's also an Essex County, New Jersey. Turns out the guy was from Essex County, New Jersey, but when he retired, he moved up to Cape May, and he lost the badge up there.
Cape Cod.
So it's kind of weird, the connection between us and that badge. We weren't able to track the guy down. He passed away. His wife passed away. They had no children. So it was a hard return, but Matt did a lot of legwork to try. Stephen Clapp was his name. This was Erica, who we met up there, found this French liard from 1650, the oldest coin of the trip. Charlie found that, which he called over, said it was his coolest ever bridal rosette, real big, had lots of silver wash all over it. He also found the gaslight key not far from it. My Standing Liberty quarter that I live dug, the only thing I found the whole day because so many things were coming out of the ground. Steph's clog clasp. And then Charlie, the last find of the clip, his USA lead bale seal. On the other side had a picture of like a Brahma bull on it. Thought it was really cool. Whew, Charlie, I'm tired. My throat is getting sore. Didn't expect it to go this long. So thank you, everybody, for hanging in there. Charlie, let's wind this show down. 2024 in the book, starting 2025. Is there anything you're hoping to find this year, my friend?
You know, a lot of my permissions people have found cap bus. I have not found a cap bus. That's my white whale right now.
All right, Charlie,
Cap
for
bus
the
time,
cap
cap
bus.
bus quarter, anything cap bus.
All right, that's fair. I'm going to chalk it up on the list for Charlie's hope for 2025. Rich, how about you? Anything you're hoping for 2025?
I want to find a Fujio.
Oh, man, that's a nice one. A Fujio.
Yep.
All right,
That's
Fujio on the list.
my number
Lynn,
one.
you've only been detecting a month, Lynn, but if there's one thing you could find this year, what would it be?
Can I have two?
No. All right, go ahead. You can have two. You can have two.
I'd like to find a nice shoe buckle or a reale, probably.
Okay, those are two nice ones.
I have to catch up with you guys.
There's a good chance that you would do that. You'd be able to do that.
Yeah, very good chance.
How about
Maybe
you, Jay?
both of them.
And as much as I am like Rich would like a Fujio, I would rather have a chain scent. I've been calling for one for 4 years. This is the year I'm going to try to get a chain scent. That's my bucket list for the year.
That would be nice.
But listen, we will take whatever we get. We have a good time. We always get along. We've got on some great places, and I'm sure we're going to find some amazing things. I can't wait to see how it unfolds. And you guys will be right along with us as we hopefully keep making videos all year long. But for now, we're out of here. My throat's sore. I'm tired. Thank you all for watching. Happy hunting, everybody. And we will see you on the next one. Later.
Good night.
We are Penn State.